As we just finished getting data of a single project that we can use on a Kanban board, now it's time to move to another endpoint that is going to allow us to getting total number of created project that we can display on the dashboard. Now this is the endpoint right here, count/projects. For the request body, we ain't gonna send anything, but for the response body, we're gonna get the count variable with the number of created projects, and the status it is going to be 200. Now let's move. Right here, guys, you can see we need first to get into the project controller. That's what we need to do first. Once we are within the project controller, we need to do this. We are going to create a function. Right here, I'm going to create a function, public function, count projects, and I'm going to pass it. Right here. I'm going to say projects model count like this. And then I need to store this query within a variable. I'm going to pass here count. And then right here, I'm going to return it. I'm going to pass it within the response function. And then I'm going to pass here a count variable, which is going to hold this data. And then I'm going to return it. And then we need to get into the API.php file in order to hit this function. Right here, we need to put it right here. I'm going to duplicate this line right here, and then it is going to be the getHttp verb. Right here, I'm going to pass this function right here that we need to hit once we just hit this endpoint count. I'm going to pass here /count project, and then I'm going to remove the slag. And if we get into the browser and try to test it, let us see. Right here, I'm going to pass here count, this count /projects. And then we're going to get a list of created projects. And that's all, guys, for this endpoint. Let's move to another one. If we take a look to our Kanban board, you can see that we got 3 different status. We got not started, pending, completed. We can move a task from not started to pending, from pending to completed, from completed to pending, from pending to completed, and so on, guys. If we take a look to our first endpoint that we're going to get started with, you're going to see that we are going to send the task ID within the request body. And if we take a look to our table, you can see right here, this is the task table. It is the task ID, the project ID of this task, the name, and the status. And you can see within the task model, we have got 3 status. Not status, the value is 0. When we created a task, it takes the not started status. You can see right here, when we created the create the UI task, it takes the status of not started, which takes 0 as value. Now, guys, we need to interact now with this first endpoint. We are going to move a task from not started to pending. And we are going to get into the task controller. Right here, we're going to create a method right here, public function to not started, task to not started, to completed, to pending. This is our first action. This is the first action that we're going to do. We are going to move a task from not started to pending. And right here, we're going to do this task where the task ID, and then we're going to request right here the task ID like this, and then we're going to invoke the update method. We're going to pass in first the status, and then we're going to use the task model to get access to these constants. We're going to pass here pending. Yeah, we're going to pass here pending. We just move a task from not started to pending. And then we're going to return a message, a response with a message. We're going to pass here task move to pending. This is the message with a status of 200. And then we're going to send this message. We're going to pass here the request class. And then we are going to add this endpoint within the model. We're going to pass here. We're going to get into the API.php file. And right here, we're going to go to the task controller right here. And the endpoint that we need to hit is this. We're going to copy this because this is the first endpoint. And then we're going to paste it in right here. We're going to copy this and duplicate it. And we're going to change the endpoint. We're going to pass it this one, task, not started to pending. and then we are going to eat this method right here. Let's try to check these endpoints. Let's try to test these endpoints within the Postman. Now we get into the Postman, and here I'm gonna pass these endpoints. We need to let's try to see the HTTP verb it is post. And then right here, we're gonna change the HTTP verb to post, and then we're gonna pass here the path. And here, guys, for the body, we need to send the task ID. We're gonna get into the www form URL encoded, and we're gonna pass right here the task ID. And let us see first. You can see right within the task table, we got two tasks. Let's try to change the status of the task 1. We need to move it from not started to pending. And we're going to pass the ID. It is going to be 1. We're going to pass here 1. And then I'm going to hit send. We're going to see what we're going to get. And again, we're getting a message, task moved to pending. And if we get into our table, we refresh, you're going to see that we just changed our task from not started to pending. Now we need to move to another endpoint. Let's interact with these endpoints. Task / not started to completed. We need to move a task from not started to completed, and we're gonna copy this, and we're gonna go ahead and get into the API.php file, and we are going to create these endpoints. And then this endpoint, it is going to point to a method that we're gonna call right here. I'm gonna name it. We're going to say not started to completed, because we need to move from a task from not started to completed, like this. And then, guys, right here, we are going to create this method within the task controller. And we're gonna copy the same code right here and change the name of the function. Let me copy this. And paste it right here, and then change the name of function to this. Yeah, this is the name of our function. And again, we are going to change the status, because we need to move it to a task from not started to completed. We're gonna pass here completed, like this, and then it's going to work. If you try to test it within the Postman, we need to hit this endpoint. It is going to work too. Let's move to another one. Task pending to completed. Now we are going to copy again this endpoint, and we're going to move a task from pending to completed. And we are going to copy this endpoint again, and we are going to pass this path right here, and we are going to change right here task to pending to completed. This pending to completed. And then we're gonna copy, we're gonna create this function within the task controller. I'm gonna paste it, and then I'm gonna copy this one and then change the name of the function. I'm gonna pass it this, and right here we are going to do this. We are going to pass here. You can see that the task moved from pending to completed. We are going to pass here completed, because if the status it is 1, which is pending, we are going to change it to completed. Now we just finished. We are going to change first right here the message, just move task to completed. I'm gonna pass here the message, but also I need to change right here task to completed, because we are moving a task from pending to completed. Task to pending to completed, guys. And then, guys, if we get into again to our API spec, we need to create another endpoint pending to not started, because we can move a task. We need to have the possibility to change a task from pending to not started. We can move it back. And here, guys, I'm gonna copy again this endpoint, and again I'm gonna paste it in within the API.php file and create the method for that. I'm gonna copy first this and paste it above, and we are going to change the path right here. It is going to be pending to not started, and here we're gonna do task to pending to not started. Not started. This is going to be not started. It's going to be the method. I'm gonna go ahead and get into the task controller again and create this method. I'm gonna copy this, and I'm gonna replace, I'm gonna change the name of that. And right here, you can see if a task it is pending, it is the status of 1. And if a status is not started, it is the status of 0. And here we need to pass it from pending to not started. And then here we are going to pass here not started. Not started like this. We're gonna pass here move task, move to not started like this. Now we need to move, now we need to hit our fifth, 1, 2, 3, 4, our fourth endpoint. We need to move a task from completed to pending. We're gonna copy again this completed to pending, because a task, we can try to move a task to completed status, but it is not yet completed. And again, we can roll back this action. We are going to copy this completed to pending. And again, I'm not getting to the API.php file. I'm not trying to copy this. We are going to move a task from completed to pending. We just roll back this action. And right here, we're going to change here from completed task to completed to pending. This is the action that we need to do. And I'm not go again within the task controller and try to copy this method and change something. We're gonna pass here this method, and we are going to pass here task to completed to pending. We're gonna pass here pending because we need to change the status pending like this. And again, guys, we're gonna pass here task move to pending like this. Like task move to pending. But also we got one more action that we need to do, completed to not started. This is the last action from the Kanban board. And here we are going to go again within the API.php file. And again, we are going to copy. We need to copy this line right here and change the path. And the path, it is going to be this, completed to not started. We can roll back a given action. If a task was completed, we can just move it to pending. And here we're going to do task to completed to not started. We're gonna do this. And we're gonna get into the task controller again. And right here, we are going to copy this and try to change something. I'm gonna pass this right here. And here we are going to move, we're going to change right here the status. We're going to pass here not started. I'm going to pass here not started, and I'm going to remove pending. Pass here not started. And right here, I'm going to pass not started like this. These are actions that we are going to get on the Kanban board of our app. And that's it, guys. All endpoints are just there. And guys, you can see right here, we have duplicated. Every time we are passing this query, it allows to change the status of a given task. And now we are going to copy this and try to move it within the task model. And we are going to create a function, public static change task status. This is the method. We're going to pass it the task ID. And right here, we're going to paste it and task ID, but also we're going to pass it the status. And right here, I'm going to pass it the status. And we're going to get into the task controller right here. You can see public static function, change task status. And right here, we're going to pass it the task ID and the status. And we are going to call this function within the task controller. We're going to do this. We're going to pass here this, the task like this, the task model, in order to get access to this static method. And then we are going to pass in the task ID. We're going to do this, requires the first parameter. We need to pass in the task ID like this, but also the status, this. I'm going to pass it the status, and then we're going to remove this line right here to make things clean, because we don't need to repeat ourselves. And again, if we need to use this query, we are going to call this function change task status. And then I'm gonna copy this and try to paste it, to try to remove things, try to refactor. Right here, we're gonna pass here completed. I'm gonna pass here, I'm gonna remove this and pass here completed. Move that, copy it again, and move to another line. And right here, we need to pass right here completed to. You can see completed to. Yeah, completed to. For this one, we're gonna pass here not started. Gonna pass here not started, not started, not started like this. And I'm gonna remove this and copy it and copy it again. And right here, you're gonna pass here pending, pending. And here, I remove this and do for the last line. Right here, we're gonna pass here not started. For the start, not started. And we are going to get a code which is clean. We don't repeat again ourselves. Alright guys, and congratulations, we just finished implementing a good amount of endpoint that can allow us starting off building our Vue.js app, implementing our UI, but we haven't yet finished implementing all endpoints, guys. We are going to continue implementing all endpoints right here, guys. We already implemented some endpoint like create a project, get a list of create projects. We can create a member, we can create a task. These are primary endpoints that's going to allow us get started off building our Vue.js app. But we haven't yet finished, guys, because we need to secure our API, but also we need to add some endpoints. We are going to continue working as a full stack developer. That's what we are going to do right now. We are going to start working as a full stack developer. We are going to work at the same time on the back end and at the same time on the front end. That's what we are going to do right now, guys. Now guys, let's install Laravel Reverb to allow real-time communication. And guys, Laravel Reverb is a blazing fast and scalable real-time communication that we are going to integrate right now within our Laravel 11 projects. We are going to type this command php artisan install broadcasting. But also we can install it manually, guys, by typing composer require Laravel /reverb. But also you need to type another command php artisan reverb install in order to publish configuration files. And then guys, in order to subscribe to events and channels broadcast by our Laravel 11 projects, we need to install Laravel Echo and Pusher.js. We are going to type this command npm --save, and then we are going to install Laravel Echo and Pusher.js, and we're ready to go. Now guys, we need to integrate Vue 3 within our Laravel 11 project, and to do so we are going to use Vite, which is a modern front-end build tool to provide an extremely fast development environment and bundles your code for production. And in order to get started with our commands, we need first to install Vue plugin. We are going to type this command npm install and then add vue.js /plugin-vue. This is the first command that you need to type within your command prompt in order to install Vue 3. And then you're going to go ahead and install Vue 3 by typing npm install Vue at lattice. And once you're done installing Vue 3, you need also to install Vue Router for adding navigation to a Vue 3 app. But also we are going to use Pinia for state management for handling a state within a Vue 3 app. For example, you want to pass data between components, we are going to use a state management, which is Pinia. It is an alternative for Redux. And also, guys, we are going to install Vue toast notification for notification message. But also, we are going to use Vue validate for validating our inputs. We are going to use Vue suite alert right here, guys. Once you just finish installing Vue validate, you need also to install Vue suite alert 2 by typing npm install Vue suite alert 2. You need also to install Laravel Vue Pagination to add pagination within a Vue 3 app, guys. But also we are going to use charts in order to display analytics of a single project. We are going to use Apex. You need also to type this command, this one first, this one, npm install -- save apex charts, and then you're going to tap this second one, view free apex charts. Alright guys, as we just finished integrating Vue free projects within Laravel Reverb project, guys, we are going to integrate to TypeScript because we are not going to use JavaScript error within our front end, but instead we are going to rely on TypeScript in order to detect the typing errors and avoiding some errors. And we are going to tap npm-d TypeScript in order to transpile down our TS files down to JavaScript. But also, guys, we are going to add Vue.ts in order to do type checking within Vue files. You're going to type this command npm install -d Vue.tsc, and there we go. Alright guys, as we just finished installing all relevant package within our Laravel Reverb project, you're going to notice you got Node.js modules folder within your project. And if you get into the resource folder, you're going to see within the JS folder, you got a code.js file, and the broadcasted driver, which is selected by default, is Reverb. That's what we are going to use in order to integrate a real-time within our app, real-time communication. And guys, if you see within the root folder of your app, you got vite config.js. We already installed Vue free. Now, in order to make Vue to integrate Vue within Laravel 11, we are going to import Vue plugin. And this is the plugin that we are going to import. I'm going to copy this and paste it in within vite.config.js file and import Vue.js as plugin. We're going to pass it to Vite. And as Vite, it is our build tool. We are going to tap this command in order to start off a Vue.js app. Yeah, npm run dev. This is the command. You can see we got the scripts section right here. And also, guys, because we are not going to use the JavaScript right here, you can see within the resource folder right here, app.js is where we are going to boot up our Vue.js app. We are going to import our package within app.js file. We are going to change app.js to app.ts file because we are going to work with TypeScript. And first of all, we need to initialize a TypeScript project. If you are familiar with TypeScript, you probably know the commands that we use in order to initialize a TypeScript project. We're going to tap tsc-init, and then we are going to create a tsconfig.json at the root of our project. Right here, you're going to see it. It contains a bunch of properties. Right now, I'm not going to explain it, guys, because this is not a TypeScript course, guys. If you are not familiar with TypeScript, I'm going to put down the link of my TypeScript course, guys. You're going to follow it, and then I'm going to put the link down again for this property. You're going to read how it works. And in order to understand how it works, you need to have I can say an experience with TypeScript. And here, guys, I'm gonna copy this command. If you doesn't have a lot experience with TypeScript, guys, don't worry. You can just go at my GitHub. I'm gonna put down the link in the description of this project, and then you're going to copy. You're going to copy this right here, guys. These options. And for the compiler options, the compiler option instructs how TypeScript is going to compile projects. You can see right here, we got another command, hello.js. We are going to hello type checking within JavaScript files. We got module. The module property, it is ESNES. For the lib, as we are working with TypeScript, we are adding type checking within the DOM. Module resolution node. When we are going to compile our TS files, the target version is ESNext. ESNext, it is a JavaScript version. Yeah, you can see, set the JavaScript language version for immediate JavaScript and includes compatible library declaration. Guys, the module excludes property right here. These are folders that we are not going to compile when we are going to run this command right here. Let me show you another command right here. I got another command right here, guys, that we're going to use in order to build our Vue.js app. Right here, you can see if we get into the package.json, we got two scripts. Run dev in order to get started with the development, but also build. We are going to remove this and add this one. This one you can see right here, we add Vue TSC. Vue TSC allows to compile TS files within Vue.js projects. And then they're going to run that build. And here guys, if we get into the tsconfig.json, we exclude node modules and public. We are not going to compile them. But also we say that we are going to include all files within the resource.js folder, all files started with TS, files starting with DTS, declaration files generated by TypeScript, all files starting with .vue, all files with app.ts, but also we need to add bootstrap. And I'm not remove first this one. Yeah. And there we go. Guys, here I'm not remove this. Yeah, we are not going to compile bootstrap here, bootstrap.js. It is a JavaScript file. We're going to remove it. And guys, the next thing we have to do, we have to change the app.js to app.ts because we are using TypeScript. I'm not change it, I'm not rename it to app.ts file. You can see app.ts is where we are going to put all our package here. Here we are going to create the Vue instance within the app.ts file. And again, guys, we are going to get into the blade folder right here within the views folder. You can see welcome.blade. Yeah, it contains the code of the landing page that came by default when we install Laravel 11 project. I'm not delete all this stuff, guys, but also I got a small boilerplate for that. I'm not copy it, and that's it right here. This is the boilerplate that I'm going to paste it in. And right here, I'm not do remove all of that and do Ctrl V. And right here, guys, you can see we have a div app, a div tag, and an attribute of app. And we use vite at vite blade to load script. We are going to load app within the resource folder. We are going to load the app.ts and resource app.css is where we are going to put our CSS code. It's like this. The vite directive that you see right here, it is like a normal script. And then you're going to reference the script that you want to load within the source attributes like this. It is the same, but here they use this vite attributes. And we're going to get into again within the vite.config.js file. And right here, guys, you're going to see this command right here, this app.js. We are going to change it to app.ts. And guys, I forget to show you something. When we type tsc --init, you have to make sure you have TypeScript installed on your computer. If I type tsc --version, you can see my TypeScript version. If you want to install TypeScript globally, you can type npm install -g TypeScript like this, and then you're going to install TypeScript globally. If it doesn't have TypeScript or you don't want to install TypeScript within your computer, you're going to create this file manually, and then you're going to copy all the properties, and after that, after we finish doing this, guys, we need to create a Vue instance, because when we install Vue.js projects, let me show you something. Let me open a Vue.js project right here, guys. And you can see right here, guys, I just opened a random Vue.js project. And right here, you can see we got the app.vue file, which is the entry point for other file. And we got the writer view within it. It is going to allow us to load, it loads other pages. And we inject the app.vue component within the DOM via the mount function. And right here, we just initialize a Vue instance by doing create app. We just initialize a Vue instance, and then we pass it this component. And then if we get into the index.html, which is our welcome.blade.php file, and then right here we just reference to main.ts file, and we got the div. It is nav attributes, and we are looking for it, and then we are going to inject the app component .vue. Under the hood right here, let me show you guys. Under the hood, they are doing this document.query selector, and right here they just select the app attribute and do inner HTML, and then they just pass the app component within the DOM. This is what they do under the hood. And here guys, within the app.ts file right here, within this file app.ts is where we are going to initialize a Vue instance. I'm gonna copy first this code right here in order to initialize a Vue instance, and I press it right here. But also you can see that we are looking for the app.vue component that we need to inject to our create app function. And then as we are referenced to the app.ts file within the welcome.php, you can see they're going to look for this attribute, and then they're going to add this component to the DOM because it is entry point for other components. Right here, I'm gonna copy these bold plates, and here I'm not pasting. I'm gonna create a folder within the JS folder source, and I'm gonna name it app.vue file like this, app.vue. And here guys, I'm gonna paste that, and you're going to see right here within the app.vue, we just import this component, and then they're going to mount it. They're going to mount this component to the DOM. You're going to see right here, we're going to use Vue Composition API. If you're not familiar about Vue Composition API, I got a full course where I teach Vue Composition API. You're going to check it out. The link down in description, guys. Vue Composition API. We're going to use Vue. Let me get rid of the error. You can see right now the error disappeared, and the link is TypeScript and setup. But also, guys, we need to add another thing. Right here, guys, here, let me show you something. In order to start off our app, I'm gonna do first this npm. I'm gonna run first the PHP server, PHP artisan server, but also I need to run the Vue server. I'm going to do npm run dev. This is the script that we got within the package.json file. If we get into this file right here, package.json file, we got dev. We are using Vite to run our app. npm run dev. For the builds, we are going to type it when we need to deploy our app. And guys, once we tap this, you're going to see the Vue.js server is going to start it, but also the Laravel server. Now, we are going to load this page right here. Let me show you the page that we are going to load, the welcome.blade.php file. This is the file that we're going to load. And in order to load it, we are going to load it like this. We are going to tap this. We are going to tap this in order to load it. And we are going to do app slash. And then we are going to tap here app. And then we are going to pass here login. This is the page that we need to get access to when we just land on our Vue.js app. And right here, you can see this is the Laravel base URL. And right here, we pass the app path, and then the login, it is going to be the parameter. We are using root parameter in order to load Vue.js files. Let me show you. If we get into the roots folder, you can see we got web.php file. And within web.php file, I've already added something within it. And right here, you're going to see, right here, I'm using root parameter. Let me do this. This is root parameter in Laravel. Let's say within the controller, we got a method public function get data. And right here, in order to get access to this parameter, we are going to pass it, for example, we are going to pass it any, and then we can be able to get access to the any variable. And right here, guys, if we pass it like a slug, and right here slug, we can get access to this data within the controller like this. If we pass the slug as parameter to a method, that is going to be iterated by these roots. And right here, guys, we are going to pass it any. I'm gonna pass here any. I'm gonna say any for any routes, for any parameter that is going to pass to app. If you got app dot / any, it is going to load the welcome page. If we get into the browser, guys, and we tap this, you can see right here we pass here app / login, and you can see boom, we just load our Vue.js app. If I tap here on the button, you can see that I'm incrementing the count variable. And here, guys, you can see if I do this, if I tap this, the base URL itself, it doesn't get anything. But what we're going to do is we're going to do this. If we got a request from the base URL like this, I'm gonna redirect from this path right here. I'm going to say when we are going to get the type the base URL, we are going to redirect. We are going to do return redirect. We're going to pass here app / login. They're going to redirect us on the login page. And once again, if we tap the base URL of Laravel server, they redirect us on the login page of a Vue app. Pass here app / login. Alright guys, now let's get started building our UI, and we are going to work as a full stack developer. And within the source folder right here, I'm going to create another folder, pages, where we are going to put our Vue.js files, and I'm going to create another folder rather where we are going to put all our path. And here, guys, within the pages folder, I'm going to create two folders. The admin folder, it is going to hold all page related to the admin area, but also we are going to create another folder where we are going to put the login page and register page. First of all, I'm going to create the register page, register page, the view, but also I need to create the intro point for this page. We are going to pass here of page view. It is going to be the intro point for the login page and the register page. Let me create also the login page view like this. And within the of page, as it is going to be the intro point, we are going to put in the built-in component Laravel view. I'm gonna pass it right here. I'm gonna pass here first the template, and we're gonna pass in the div with a class of container. We are going to use Bootstrap for styling. You can use whatever CSS you want, CSS framework you want. And here, guys, I've already downloaded Bootstrap, and I'm going to copy this content right here and paste it in the CSS folder app.css file. And right here, if we get into the resource folder within the blade welcome blade.php file, you're going to see that we just reference to this app.css file. And right here, I'm not getting to the register page, and I'm not creating a template tag, but also I got a boilerplate for that. I'm gonna copy this and paste it right here. And right here, you can see this is just a template tag, and we just pass it a row class. And row, if you are familiar with Bootstrap, you probably know what I'm doing right now. And again, right here, I'm not creating a form. And our form, it is going to have two inputs. I'm going to pass it the class of form control, and we're going to pass it input. It is going to be a type of text with a class form control like this. Let me increase the screen, the size of the screen. But also, we are going to pass it right here. We need to pass here the label like this, and then the label, and like this. We need to pass here the label, and then right here we're going to pass here email like this, and then we need to change the email label. We're going to pass here the password, and then we're going to create also the button. The button, we're going to name it register. Right here, we're going to pass here the button, and we're going to say register like this. And we're going to go ahead and get into the router folder. Right here, we are going to create a file. We're going to name it index.ts file. And we are going to create a router instance. And to do that, I have a boilerplate for that, guys. And right here, you can see we just import create router and create web history. Right here, you can see create web history. This returns the base URL of our app. Returns this base URL. Let me show you. I'm gonna get into the browser and copy it right here. this function creates web history, returns this function right here. And guys, I'm not showed you the importance of you passing here app. It is going to, this is now is going to be our base URL. This Laravel base URL, and then it's going to take this. I'm not showed you the importance later. And right here, we're going to pass here the path. We're going to pass here first the path of the root start of the page we need to locate it. We're going to pass here first the register. Let us pass here the login. I'm going to copy this code right here. Let me pass here the register. We need to load the register first. We're going to pass here the register, but also we're going to say the name. It is going to be register, and then the component that we need to load, we are going to use dynamic import to improve the performance of our app. We're going to pass here this function, and then we are going to call the import dynamic import function. It returns a promise, and then within it we are going to pass the page that we need to load. We are going to get into the pages and get into the off folder. Let me pass here the off folder. And if we try, first of all, we need to load right here. You can see off page. It is our entry point. And right here, we're going to pass here Laravel BaseInput Component like this, Laravel. And then we are going to use it to load other pages. And we're going to go back within the index.ts file within Rudder. And right here, you can see we are going to copy this. We're going to pass here this path. It is going to be taken as a children page. Of course, let me show you. We're going to pass here children like this. It is going to take an array. And above right here, we are going to, it is going to take an array of roots. I'm going to pass here an object. The name, it is going to be register, because when we tap register, we need to load this page right here. We are going to load the entry point. It is going to be this one, the off page. And pass here, we're going to locate the off page. It is our entry point, and then we are going to load the register page. Now we need to add the Rudder instance to Vue. We need to inject it. We're going to go ahead and get into the app.ts, and right here we're going to import it. We're going to do import Rudder like this. You can see we just import it from Laravel, and then we're going to do create app use, and then we're going to pass it to the Vue instance. And if we go ahead and get into the browser, you're going to see that we are getting an error within Rudder. Let us fix it. And right here, let us fix the error. Right here, we need to add right here this. Let us see why we're getting this error. We need to add here comma, and then right here the error, it is going to disappear. And right here I'm going to pass here for the roots, we're going to pass here register, and again you're going to see we got register page, but also we need to get rid of the hello world from Vue. We're going to go ahead and get into the app.vue components, and we are going to remove all of that. Let me remove the button and add a stuff, and right here we are not going to put in anything right now. And then here you can see we are getting a register page. Now the second thing we need to do is to register a user. That's what we need to do right now. And right here you can see, first of all, we are going to create components, base components. And right here you can see within the source folder, we got pages folder where we're going to put all our Vue.js files. The Rudder where we are going to put, it is going to be concerned with navigation, but also we are going to create another folder. It is going to be components where we are going to put all our base components. And within the component folder, we are going to have components like BaseBtn.Vue. We are going to have BaseInput and Vue and other components. These are components that we are going to interact with right now on the register page. And here I'm going to pass here error.vue. This error component, it is going to display validation error. Now we are going to create another folder right here. For this, within the source, we are going to create another folder we are going to call it helper folder. And within the helper folder, we are going to put in some helper functions and utility files. But also we are going to create in another file. We're going to name it app. And then within the app, we are going to create in an app.ts file. And right here, we are going to create a constant. We are going to export a constant. Const app, we are going to pass it. It is going to have three properties. The first one, it is going to be the base URL of our app, which is this. We're going to copy this. It is our base URL. And it is going to have to the API base URL. We're going to pass here API base URL like this. And it's going to be this. And right here, we are going to have only these two properties, the base URL and API base URL of our app. And right now, we're going to pass here. This is our base URL and API base URL. We just export that. And we're going to go ahead and get into the helper folder. We're going to create in a function that is going to allow us make HTTP requests. And right here, we are going to say make HTTPReq like this, the TS file. And first of all, guys, we need to export this function. We are going to do export function make. We're going to name it make HTTPReq. And this function, it is going to take the endpoint that we need to hit. It's going to take also the verb, the HTTP verb. It is going to be a type of type alias. I'm going to create right here a type alias HTTP verb type like this. About HTTP verb, we need to pass here the post HTTP verb, put and delete. These are HTTP verbs that exist, but also get options. But we are going to use this for HTTP verb. We're going to type our verb right here. We're going to type with the HTTP verb type. And it is going to take the input. It is going to be a type of T input. Our function is going to be a generic. I'm going to pass here T inputs. And it is going to take T response, a response for a saver. We need to type it. We need to know which kind of data we are going to gather from the saver. And right here, I'm not type it. I'm not do this. I need to pass here T inputs like this. And again, here, our function it is going to return a promise. Add here catch. In case we got an error, we are going to reject an error. I pass here reject like this. And here, guys, we are going to pass here. We're going to use fetch. The fetch API function returns a promise. Pass here await and pass here the endpoint. And then we're going to get access to the base URL right here. And then we're going to pass here the endpoints here like this. This is the endpoint. For the second parameter of the fetch API function, we're going to pass it first the method, and then we're going to pass it the header. The method, it is going to take the method. We're going to pass it the verb. Let us pass here the verb and the headers. And the header, we need to specify the content type. The content type, it is application/JSON. But also we are going to pass the body and we are going to stringify the input. We're going to convert the JavaScript object to a text. And right here, we are going to type also our return type. We need to know which kind of data we are going to get back from the saver. And here we're going to pass here res.json. And right here, when we are going to over the data function, you can see it is a type of T response. And here, guys, we need to check if we doesn't get any issue within our HTTP request. We are going to check if we got an issue, raise that, okay, it is false. We are going to pass here, we are going to reject the data. Let's say we got an authorization error, we are going to reject the message. Else, if it doesn't have any issue, we are going to resolve the error. And here, guys, let me get into the register page and show you how you're going to use the makeHttpReq function. Within the op folder, we are going to create a folder, actions, where we are going to put action related to the register page. The action, we're going to put it within the register.ts file. And right here, we're going to create a composable for that. We are going to say export function and use register user. this is the function, and within it we are going to create a function. It is going to return a promise. We're going to pass here a sync function register. Right here we're going to call our function makeHttpReq, and right here we need to type it. When we do this, we are going to specify the T input response type we are going to get back from the server. And right here I'm going to define first the shape of the register user, and here I'm going to use type alias, and the register user type is going to take the two proper email and password, and then we need to specify the return type. If we get into the auth controller, when we just create a user, you can see right here we are returning a created user plus a message and with a status of 200. Now here within the register action, right here we need to specify also the return type. I'm going to pass here register response. I'm going to pass here response type, and we are going to say we are going to get back from the server the email. Now here we need to specify the inputs. We're going to pass here to makeHttpReq. We're going to pass here the register user type, but also we're going to pass it the register user response type. And then when we are going to over the data function right here, we are going to see that it returns a promise. Let us add here first a wait. And if we over the data function, it is a type of register response type. And right here, we need to pass to our makeHttp request. We need to pass the first parameter. It is going to be the endpoint that we need to hit. It's going to be register. I'm going to pass here register, and then we're going to pass the HTTP verb post, and then here we are going to pass here the input. And the input, we are going to create a reactive property using ref exports const. I'm going to say register input. I'm going to assign it ref to create a reactive property, and then I'm going to type it with register user. This is how we type a ref reactive function from Vue. And here, guys, I'm going to export it, and here I'm going to do register input.value in order to get access to this value to the property of these inputs. And here we are going to do this. You can see right now we are getting an error, and here I'm going to do this. I'm gonna say it is going to be an object, and I'm gonna convert it. I'm gonna cast it to a type of register user type. And here, guys, you can see when we over the data function, we need to display a message. For example, when we just register user, we need to get a message from the server like user created. But also, in order to get access to the register function, we need to return it. We are going to pass here return. We are going to return register. But also, we are going to create another property right here. It is going to be a reactive property. It is going to be the loading. When we are going to click on the button, we need the button to spin, and as the loading variable, it is going to be a boolean. Right now we're going to assign it false as its default value, and when we just send a request, we're going to change the value to true. It is going to get the value of true. Once it's finished, we're going to change the value to false right here. We're going to pass here false, and in case you got an error, let me wrap all of that within a try-catch block. In case you got an error within this makeHttpReq, because it returns a promise, in case you got an error, we are going to console that error. And we are going to use toast notification for that. Right here, you can see we are going to pass here error.message. We are going to use toast notification for that. And in order to install toast notification, guys, you're going to see on the npm.js.com, and once you're there, view toast notification. Right here, you're going to see the suggest you version. To install for Vue free, we are going to copy this command, view toast notification @free. And here, this is the usage in order to add Vue toast notification to Vue instance. We are going to copy this and get into our app.ts file right here and paste that. And here, guys, we are going to use toast notification plugin. We're going to do that use, and then we just add toast notification to Vue instance. And also, guys, we are going to add something, guys. If you see right here, in order to display a message from toast notification library, we are going to create a constant, and then we are going to assign it a composable use toast right here. And then in order to get access to a method, we are going to use this variable toast.success. If we need to display an error, we are going to use toast.error. And we're going to copy that. And get into the helper folder, guys. You're going to see we are going to create a file toast notification.ts5 and do that. And right here, guys, when I'm going to click on toast.success, if we over it, let us over the toast, the success, you can see it takes a message and options. I'm going to click on success. And right here, you can see this is the interface of the toast plugin API. And right here, you can see it takes an options. It is optional and toast property. These are properties that we are going to pass to our toast notification. And I've already do that, guys. I'm gonna copy that. Let me paste it within the toast notification.ts5. Right here, guys, I'm gonna comment all of that up here. And right here, you can see I just do that. And here I've created a function show error. And then I'm getting access to the toast.error function. We are going to use it to display an error. And I'm getting access also to the toast.success function. We're going to use it to display a success message. And here, guys, we're going to replace this. We are going to remove console.log. We're going to pass here success message. And then we're going to do data.message. And right here, in case we got an error from the server, we're going to pass here success.error. We're going to pass here show error. It is going to be the message show error. And then we're going to pass it the error. And you can see if we over the error type, the error right here, the error variable, it is a type of unknown. And we are going to use type assertion to assert it to another type. I'm not do this. I'm not do is error. And then I'm going to get access to the message property from the error interface. Once done, guys, we need to go into the register page. And right here, within the register page, we need to bind. You can see right here, we already created the form and we have input on it. Now we are going to create right here the script tag. Let us create first the script tag. And we are going to pass it setup. We're going to pass it first the length attribute. It is ts and setup. And then we need to import. If we get into the register, you can see we just export the register input. We are going to use it. And we are going to import it within the register page. And right here, we are going to import it first from the actions folder. I'm going to pass it right here. And then, guys, we are going to bind our register inputs to our input. We're going to use vmodel directive like this. And here, guys, before we continue, we are going to do validation for this input right here. We're going to add validation. Right here, I'm going to create first a function. You can see right here, we got our register input. It is a reactive property. And I say submit register. And then this function, what it is going to do, it is going to check first if the input it is valid, and then we are going to create a user. That's what we're going to do. And here, guys, we need also to install another package, which is vuevalidate. Now here we need to go into first. Once we already install it, we can tap this command. Once you finish installing it, and then you're going to move to this section. You can see right here, we need to import the use validation composable from validates core. But also we are going to import validators required and email. I'm gonna copy all of that and get into my register page and paste there. But also, guys, you're going to see right here, we are going to create a variable. Right here, they're using option API, but we are using composition API. In order to make things compatible, we are going to copy this and modify things. And right here, I'm going to pass here a quote, and then here I'm going to create a variable const v, and then I'm now assign it use validate composable. And here, guys, you can see on the documentation we got right here, we need to create a rules property, a rules object. This is the object. Let me show you. We need to create a rules object, and this rules object, it is going to take all fields that we need to validate. And right here, the fields that we need to validate in our case is the email and password. For the email, we're going to pass it the required validator, but also we're going to pass it the email validator. We're going to pass it email. And right here, we're going to pass a password. For the password, it is going to stay required. It's going to be required only. And you can see right here, the use validate function takes two parameters. The first one is the rules and the state. The states represent the inputs, guys. I'm going to pass here first the rules and register inputs. And then here, guys, I'm going to say the submit register function. It is going to be an asynchronous function. And then I'm creating the submit register function. We're going to creating a variable, and we are going to await for the validation to finish. In order to get access to the validate function, we are going to use v.value.validate, like this, validate. And you can see when we're going to over it, it returns a promise of a boolean. And here, this variable $v, it takes ref. Under the hood, they're using ref to create this use validates returns ref, and that's why we are getting it right here. In order to get access to the validate function, we need to pass here that value. And here, guys, we are going to check if it is false. We got false. We are going to return undefined. We're going to pass here return undefined. And if it is true, we are going to call our function. You can see within the register.ts file, we got a composable function, use register. And we are going to call it within the register page. We're going to pass here, we are going to use destructuring in order to get access to values. And here we need to import it first. And then right here, we are going to get access to the loading and register function. And right here, if the validation pass, we are going to pass here, we are going to await for this function to finish. And then we are going to pass here await register. And right now, guys, we are going to comment this function register because we haven't yet implemented the validation. We are going to use it later on. And here, guys, you can see we are going to add the validation for our email inputs. And you can notice right here, we got a typo. It is email. It is v model instead of here. We pass here a. You can see right here, we got here a typo. We should pass here e. And if we go again to the documentation right here, guys, we are going to use this code. And here, we are going to paste it right here, and then we are going to modify something within it. And you can see it takes an input, and right here I'm not change this. And again here you can see we have register.email, and here we are trying to get access to the rules property that we have passed in, because right here you can see we got first name. I'm gonna pass here email, and we have v dollar, and we doesn't have this variable. You can see if we go right here, we go up here, you can see we have $v. We are going to change this variable to v dollar, like this, guys. And here, guys, we are going to pass here to the email, and then we are going to get into the browser and try to see if we are going to display a validation error. And here, guys, I'm not refresh, and we are going to pass here we are going to click on register. You can see value is required. I'm going to pass a bad email. You can see value is not a valid email. And what we are going to do, guys, you can see right now we got a load code. This is a huge code. And let me do this. This is a huge code. We are going to refactor that. And we are going to do this. I'm going to create a component, error. And within this error component, we're going to wrap it in our input. The input, it is going to be passed right here, like this. And then we're going to have a code which is a bit clean. And here I'm going to go within the component folder right here. We have already created the error.vue components. And here I'm gonna pass here first the template and go again within the register page. I'm not do this. I want to show you something, guys. If we over these errors, it returns. If we over it, you can see TypeScript infers it to be an error object. We are going to copy it and get into our error components. Our error component is right here, and we are going to create right here the script and define a prop for that script. And then we're going to pass here the length. It is going to be ts and setup. And here we're going to use define prop macro to define a component. We're going to pass here props and then define props like this. And then we are going to pass here errors. We are going to tap it with error object, and we are going to import it from vuevalidate core. And here, guys, we are going to let us first format our document. And right here, we are going to pass here the errors. We're going to do props that errors because it is an array. Yeah. And then right here, we are going to pass here. You can see error in errors. We are going to pass here props that errors. And here we are going to display the error props that errors. And like that, guys, and then we are going to display the error message. And let us go now within the register page and import the error component from component folder. And here I'm gonna do import error from component. I'm gonna get out the register page, the auth page, and then we are going to get into the components. And right here we are going to eat the error.vue components. And again, guys, you're going to see right here the error component. TypeScript underlines it because we doesn't provide it the errors properly. We are going to pass it the errors, that's errors, and then we are going to pass it this error, an array of errors. I'm gonna copy this line right here, and I'm gonna pass it to our errors properly. And here I'm gonna pass here the email, and you're going to pass here this like this. You can see these errors returns an array of error objects. And here, guys, if we go again within the error.vue components, you can see we got input errors. It is a class. We are going to change the color of it. We're going to pass here the style. We're going to pass scoped to say that this CSS code is going to be applied only within the error components. I'm going to pass here that errors, and then we're going to say color red, like this color red. And now let's get into the browser and refresh. Here we are getting an error. Let us get rid of the error. And here, guys, you can see we are getting an error right here. You can see the input, it is not displayed. Right here, you can see we got only the label. And what I'm going to do is get into again the error component of view, and right here we are going to pass here our input. You can see before the div we need to pass the input, and we are going to pass here the slots. The slot, it is like a placeholder. I'm gonna pass here slots like this, but also I need to say right here our error component, it is going to take also the label. It is going to be a string, and I'm gonna pass here the label. I'm gonna do props like this, guys. I'm gonna pass here, I'm gonna say the email, it is going to be the label. It is going to pass here props that label like this label, and again we need to pass to our error component a label, and right here we got a placeholder. A placeholder, it is our slot. It is like a placeholder. You can take it like a parameter for a component. And right here we are going to pass here our input. Our input is right here, and you can see we need to pass also to our error to component. We need to pass it the label. It is going to be the email, yeah, like this. And if we get into the browser, we are going to see the email input. It is right there. I'm gonna click register. You can see value, it is required. I'm gonna pass here an invalid email. Value, it is not a valid email. I'm gonna pass here ben@gmail.com, and it is going to work. Now we need to do the same thing for the password. For the password, I'm gonna copy this, and paste it right here. And again, guys, I'm gonna pass it right here. We are going to change the label. The label is going to be the password, and for the errors array, it is going to be password, and the inputs, we are going to get access to the password, but also the type, we're gonna let it first for the test. And right here you can see we got our button right here that we are going to create a component for that. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna add here a break tag like this. Yeah, we just finished doing a little refactoring, guys. Now you can see our input. We just add validation to our form, register form, but we haven't yet finished. We need also to do a little refactoring again, because right now this code, it is not clean at all. Right now we are going to do this. We are going to create also another input. It is going to be the base input. We are going to pass it this. We are going to pass it only the model like this. It's going to be like this, and then we are going to remove other things, and our component, it is going to look like this. Let me show you. It is going to look like this. This is what we are going to do right now. Now guys, let's go ahead and get into the BaseInput.Vue component within the component folder and try to add some logic within it. And within the BaseInput.Vue, right here, we need first to create the template tag, and then we are going to create right here the script tag, and we are going to add some components. We're going to pass it component. We're going to pass here the length, it is ts, and setup. And right here, you can see on our input right here, we need to pass here the value. We are going to remove this vmodel directive, but instead we are going to pass here the value, and we are going to use define props macro to define components, to define props for that. We're going to use define props. And then the props that we are going to define for our components, we are going to define first the model value, but also it is going to be a type of string. And right here, we're going to define also the type of our model, because right here you can see the type, an input tag can be an email, a password. And for the type, we're gonna say right now it's going to be undefined, a string. And right here, I'm going to refactor our page first. And here I'm going to do this. I'm gonna pass here first the type. I'm gonna pass here the type, and then I'm gonna check if the type it is not undefined. If type of type it is undefined, we are going to pass here text. By default, it is going to be text, else we are going to pass the type if it is not undefined. And for the v model, we are going to remove it, and we're gonna pass here the model value. And right here we're going to add here an event that is going to detect when we are tapping within this input, it is going to pass this data to the vmodel directive. You're going to create right here function update value, and like this, update value, and then you're gonna pass it an event type of any. We're gonna store the variable within a constant const var, and then event that target. We just try to get access to the value of this input, that value, and then we're going to do console.log that value. Let's try to test this first within the browser. And right here, I'm gonna call the update function on inputs events here like this. Now let's try to test it. I'm gonna get into the register page and try to import the base inputs. Import base, and pass here base inputs. It is right there. And let's try to test. And right here, guys, let me do this. I'm gonna refresh it a bit. And then right here, you can see we got the register page right here. And then we're gonna move within the console. And let me try to zoom a little bit. And here, guys, you're going to see when I'm going to tap within the email input, you're going to see we are getting data. You can see right here we are getting data. Now let's try to do this. You can see right here we got the register input. I'm gonna pass here register input, and then you can see right now when I'm tapping, if I'm tapping within the password input, you can see right now we are getting data, a JSON. And if I tap within the email, it doesn't get anything. The email, the email value doesn't get any data. And we are going to do this. We are going to create an event that is going to detect on update model value, and then it is going to pass it to the model, to our v model directive right here. You can see right here you got the property model value. And we are going to create an event that is going to pass this data to this register input.email. And here we are going to define an event const emit. I'm going to pass here emit, and then we're going to do define emit. And the event that we are going to define, it is going to be, let me pass here first an e, and then the name of the event. We're going to say update model value like this. And then we need to pass also the parameter. We're going to say it is going to be a type of any, and the void, the return type of this function is going to be void. We are not going to return anything. And right here, we are going to emit this event. We are going to do emit, and then we are going to pass here model value, and then we're going to pass here the value of this input. It's going to be append to the v model directive automatically. And here, guys, if we go again within the browser and refresh a bit, you're going to see what we are going to get. And right here, I'm going to type again within the email input and pass here Ben. You can see right now we are getting data, Ben. And then here within the password, I'm going to pass the data. And we are getting a JSON, a data that we can send to our server. And right now, the validation, it is working pretty well as expected. And you can see at gmail.com, everything, it is working pretty well, guys. And here we are going to do the same thing for the password. Right here, I'm going to remove that, and I'm going to pass here this base input for the password, and our component is going to be clean. I'm going to pass here the password. Yeah, like this. Now, guys, the next component that we are going to create, it is going to be the BaseBtn. Now, guys, let's work on the BaseBtn right here. I got a little code, guys, that I got from Bootstrap, and here I'm gonna paste it in right here. I'm gonna comment first this button and see what we get in the browser. You can see right now, guys, we got a button and we got a spinning icon on it. And right here, guys, you can see this is the spinning icon right here. I'm gonna comment it. I'm going to comment this. Let me comment this. And if we get into the browser, you're going to see it disappear. We got only the button. Now what we are going to do is to get into the BaseBtn and try to add some logic. When we click, you can see right here, our use register use composable returns right here. We just extract the loading button. When we just hit register, the value of the loading, it is going to change. And then once it is within once the loading is true, we are going to spin up our button. We are going to show up the icon on the button. That's what we are going to do right now. And here, guys, and I'm gonna copy first this code, this button, and get into the BaseBtn file. Right here, we got the BaseBtn file within the components folder, BaseBtn. And I'm gonna create first the template. And then the second thing, we need to create a prop for that. Let me pass here the script tag. I'm going to get into the base input and try to copy all of that and paste it in the BaseBtn. And right here, I'm going to paste that and remove this. And here, guys, you can see we need to disable our button when we just click on it. And here we are going to get access to the disable property, disabled. And right here, we're going to pass here for the property, we're going to pass a loading. It's going to be a Boolean. I'm going to pass here Boolean. And then we need to pass it to the label like this. We're going to pass here first the label, but also we are going to pass here the loading. And then we are going to check. If right here, we're going to add a condition. If it is true, we are going to show up this loading icon. We're going to pass here if it is true, if the loading it is true loading, we are going to do it is true, we are going to show this, else false. That's what we need to do. And then let's try to use this BaseBtn within the register page. And right here, we need to import it. I'm gonna pass here import BaseBtn. And here we are going to pass it right here. And then we need to pass it first the label. The label it is, we're gonna pass it label, it is register. And then we are going to pass it the loading property, loading variable, and then we are going to assign it loading like this. And then if you get into the browser, you're going to see we're getting a button. Let me refresh again. And boom, we are getting a button right here. Now what we need to do is sending an HTTP request to the server. I'm not getting to the console tab, and try to debug this request. And right now, guys, if we get into the register.ts action, you can see right now, when you just send, we are changing the value of the loading variable to true. Once the request is done, we are changing to false. But also we need to initialize our input. Right here, you can see we got register that value. When we just finish, we're going to do that value, and then we're going to initialize it as we're going to type it as we just assert it to a type of register user type. And we're going to pass it right here. But also we need to initialize also the validation. And then right now I'm not uncomment this line. I'm going to uncomment this. And then here we need to initialize the validation. We're going to do v.value. Once this request is done, we are going to do that reset like this. And there we go. And if we get into the browser and try to create our first user, and the endpoint, it is registered. If we get into within the API.php file, you can see right here, we got API.php, and we need to hit register endpoints. And here we already pass it. Now what I'm going to do is try to send this data to the server. And I'm gonna pass here the name, it is going to be Ben. And right now you can see we're gonna pass here ben@gmail.com. This is the email that we need to, this is the use that we need to create. We're gonna pass here, it is going to be for the password. But here, guys, you can see for the password we are getting here a text, a full text. We have the ability to see the password. But if we pass here type for the BaseBtn, we pass here the type, it is password, and then we're going to get right here the password, yeah, like this. And then here I need to see the password. I'm gonna remove it because I need to see it. And then right here we're going to pass here 1 2 3 4, and then we're going to send this data to the server. Now let's try to hit register and see what we get. And I'm not getting to the network tab. Yeah, I'm gonna click register, and you can see right now when we are sending our request to the server, this register, it is still showing up. We need to hide it, and we are getting an error. You can see unprocessable entity. If I try to see, you can see we are getting an array. Our server return an array of errors. The email has already been taken. The password free must be at least 6 characters. We need to fix that, guys. Here within the BaseBtn first, we need to hide the label if the loading is true. You're going to do if true, but also you can see right here within the register.ts file, we are getting the response. Our server, it is returning an array. You can see it is an array of errors, and we are going to handle that. We are going to do for our message of error as string. We assert it to a string, and then we are going to show, we're going to pass it the message like this. But also right here, we need to pass here, we need to change the value of the loading variable in case we got an error from the server. We need to pass it to false. And here, let us see what we are getting right now. We are checking if it is true. If loading true, we are going to pass here false, and else we're going to pass here true. That's what we are going to do. And here, guys, yeah, let's try to send again. I'm going to pass here ben@gmail.com, but also I'm going to pass here the password. And then I'm going to try to send this data to the server and try to see what we get. I'm going to pass send. Yeah, you can see the email has already been taken. Yeah, this is the error. You're getting a validation error. But also the status doesn't change right here. Let us try to fix this. I'm gonna refresh again and try to create the same user. I'm gonna pass here ben at gmail.com and the password 1234 and click again, and then boom, we are getting the message. Now here we are going to pass here Ben. We're gonna pass here Ben with a different email, Ben2434, and the password 1234. We're gonna pass it. We're gonna try to create a user, 6 character at least, and here I'm gonna pass here 56 and send. Register, and then we are waiting for the message. Yeah, user created. This is the message, guys. User created. Now guys, let's create real quickly the login page, and I'm gonna copy the content within the register page. I'm gonna do Control A, Control V within the login page. I'm gonna paste the content, and right here what I'm going to do is to change things. And here I'm gonna create another action, and I'm gonna name it login.ts, and then I'm gonna get into the register.ts file and copy the content within it and paste it in the login.ts and try to change values. Right here you can see we got register user type. We are going to change it to login user type like this, and then I'm gonna click on replace all. We are going to change also, we got here the email password. This is the input that we're gonna send to the server. And if we try to check which kind of data our login function, our login endpoint is returning, let's try to see. Right here within the auth controller, we are getting right here. We have right here. Let us check the login. For the login, we are getting the message, but also in case we have an error, we need to display it. Right here, you can see we are returning an array of errors. In case we provide an input, which is an email which is invalid. And here we are going to pass here this email password. It's going to be that. And here we need to change also the response type. We are going to pass here login response type. I'm gonna copy and paste right here and change. Pass here is going to be login response type and change. And here for the function, for the input, I'm gonna pass here login. Let me do this. Let me change it at the same time and pass here login inputs. Login input, change all. And for the composable use register, we're gonna pass here use login user. And then here we're gonna pass here login. And we need to hit the login endpoints. And here guys, I think we just finished. Yeah, we're gonna pass here the login. Now we need to get into the login page and try to use the use login user composable right here. You can see right here we just import our component, but soon I'm gonna show you how you can register this component globally so that we can avoid this. This is not clean at all. We are going to try to register this component globally. And here guys, we are going to pass here our composable. We're gonna pass here login, and then we need to import. Right here you can see we are going to remove that and try to import login input. And here we're going to pass you're going to import our composable use login user, and here we're going to pass here login, and we need to call the login, and then here we're going to say submit login like this. And then guys, we are going to pass it right here and try to change things. We're going to remove that, submit login, and here you're going to pass your login input that email and login input that password like this. And there we go. We just finished guys real quickly. And here guys, we need to get into the router index.ts file and try to import this page right here. Let's do this. Let's cut this. Yeah, like this. And then guys, within the register page, I'm gonna add a link under the password form. I'm gonna add here a link. I'm gonna say div. It is going to be a class of form group, and then here we're going to add here router link. Pass here, and then I'm gonna pass it the name. You're gonna pass here the name is going to be, I'm gonna pass here to, when we click on this endpoint on this link, we're going to move to the login page. I'm gonna pass here login into your account. Yeah, here within the register page, and then I'm gonna copy it and get into the login page, and here I'm gonna pass here the same code, but here I'm going to pass here register and say here create an account, create like this, and get into the browser and refresh. And here I'm gonna refresh and click on login to your account, and then we run the login page. I'm gonna try to change the title right here. I'm gonna pass here login like this, and then we got our login right here. Now we need to log in. I'm gonna try to check first here. Let me try to change this. We're gonna pass here for the label, it is going to be login, and then we can check if the login endpoint it is working. And here I'm gonna get into the network tab, and here I'm gonna pass here the email address of the user we have created. I'm gonna pass here ben@gmail.com and the password 123. And here I'm gonna send, and then we are getting a message. We sent you an email verification. And guys, we need to verify his email. We are going to run here maildev. And we need also to run the queue, the background jobs. We're gonna pass here, we're gonna get into our app, and then here we are going to pass here PHP artisan queue. And here guys, if you see within the table, within our database, we got the jobs. And right now we got one jobs which is pending, because when we create this user, it doesn't send an email verification. And as our job saver was offline, now if we get into the mail dev, you can see right now the email arrived. Now the email arrived as our queue saver was offline, because if we get into the jobs table, right now it doesn't have any pending job. It is empty. And right now we are getting our mail right here. And what we are going to do is we are going to get into first the auth controller. And within the auth controller right here, guys, you can see when we click on valid, when we click on check my email, they're going to redirect us on this function, on this endpoint valid, on these endpoints. Let me get into the web.php. They're going to redirect us on this check email with a token. And then this endpoint, it is going to hit valid email method within the auth controller. And they're going to redirect us on the login. And right now we are going to pass here app login. This is the endpoint. They're going to redirect us on the login page. Yeah, like this, when we just verify our email. And you can see this is the path of the login app/login. And I'm going to get into, again, I'm going to click first verify right here. I'm going to click on verify, check my email, and then they're going to redirect us on the login page. You can see right now we're on the login page, but right now if we try to log in this user, we're going to pass here ben@gmail.com, and for the password we're going to pass 123 and see what we get. And seems we doesn't get anything from the server. Let me see what we get in console. And here I'm gonna get into the network tab, and here I'm gonna try to click again login, and you can see right now we are getting a status of 422 unauthenticated. And here you can see the message email password invalid. And here you can see our login endpoints. We got here register and login endpoints is right here. Our login endpoint return two types of response. It can return an array of errors, but also it can return an object which contains a message. You can see right here, if the email ID is not valid, it is going to send an object of which contains a message property. And for the password too, but also right here, we are sending an object. And here, what I'm going to do within the login.ts file, right here, I'm gonna try here. I'm going to console first the error. We are going to see what we get in console. And here, guys, we are going to get into the console and click again, login. We are going to get the error. Type error, it is not iterable. You can see error, it is not iterable. It is an object. And as we are getting to type of response, we are going to try to say this, guys. We are going to create a function here, right here. I'm going to create a function. We are going to put in a util.ts file. I'm going to say, so yeah, show error response. And then here within this function, I'm going to copy this and I'm going to check here. I'm going to pass here the error. Let's say that it is an error. And I say type of any. And here I'm going to check if array, if it is array, the error, and then we're going to show this error. We're going to iterate through this show error with a message. We are going to pass here only the error. I'm gonna say here the error type is going to be a type of error. I'm gonna pass here. First of all, right here it can be a string, but also we're gonna pass here error unknown. We're gonna say it is going to be a type of unknown right here. We're gonna pass here unknown, and then here we are going to say if is an array, we are going to iterate through this array. Else we are going to do, I'm gonna pass here error like this, error, and then I'm going to pass it to the error interface to get access to the message property. And then I'm gonna use this function show error response right here. I'm gonna remove that for loop and pass here the error like this and try to check again, and we're going to display the message. And let's try to check, guys, and then I'm gonna click on login again, and then we are going to get a message, email password invalid. And guys, if I get into the auth controller, I think almost all of our function return two types of response. It can return an array of errors, but also a response or an object or which contain a message property. And here within the login.ts, our show error response method function try to check if it is an array. We are going to iterate through this array. And if it is an object, we are going to do error.message. And I'm gonna copy this function show error response. I'm gonna create within the helper folder. We are going to create right here url.ts, and then I'm gonna paste it in this function and get into the login.ts file and import it. And within the url.ts, we are going to import the show error function from toast notification. And there we go. And here, guys, you can see we just finished. For the login and for the login function right here, we are going to add another check. We are going to say if it is logged in, it is true. We're gonna do this if and pass if data that is logged in. We're gonna pass here. We need to add here this property is logged in. I'm gonna pass here. If you can see right here on the login method, we got right here is logged in. Is where, yeah, here is logged in, but also right here is logged in true. And here we are going to pass here is logged in false. Right here is logged in false. And here we're going to add here is logged in false too. If is logged in is true, and pass here first, yeah, is true. Yeah, let me, yeah. I'm gonna pass here if is logged in. Let me first add this property right here. And then we're going to say it is going to be a boolean. Pass here boolean, and then like this boolean with 2o, and then if is logged in, and then we're going to do window that location that href. We are going to move to the dashboard. We're going to pass yes app like this dashboard. We're going to move to the dashboard if the user is logged in, and here I'm going to call this function show error. I'm going to pass here. I'm going just to call the function show success. success message and data.message, because we are going to get an object. Our server is going to return an object in case we just logged in right here, and else we are going to show else we are going to show an error, because if we get into the auth controller right here, I'm going to pass here for if the email it is not valid. I'm going to pass here status of 422 to say that this request is unauthenticated. Yeah, 422, and here it is going to be the same, and here 200. If it is 422, they're going to pull this request, they're going to consider this request as an error. They're going to pass it right here if the response type it is 422, and if it is 200, they're going to pass it over here. Now let's try to create a user in order to test if everything it is working pretty well, and pass here ben at gmail.com again, but right now it is going to be ben11, and here password 123456, and click register. I'm gonna copy this, click register, and then here I'm gonna move to the login page and pass here the email and the password 123456, and click. You can see we sent you an email verification. They return a response of a status of 422 unprocessable entity. We sent you an email verification. We sent you an email verification, and here I'm going to verify first the email of this user Ben, and then I'm gonna click check. We're gonna move to the login. Yeah, it is verified, and then here I'm gonna try to log in again. Login, and then you can see it doesn't have any issue. I think we just logged in. Let's try to see which kind of request we're getting within the browser. Yeah, you can see right here they're returning a user, a logged in user. This is the data. They're returning a logged in user. Right here you can see, and we are going to store this logged in user within the local storage. We're going to do local storage that we're going to pass here local storage that, and then we're going to set rm, we're going to pass it data.user, and here you can see we are getting is logged in user, we are getting a message, but also the token and the logged in user. The logged in user, it is this is the data. Let me show you, we're getting this type of data. Let me copy this and get into here. Within the login.ts, we're going to pass here the name, the logged in username, email, the ID. We're going to pass here, it is going to be a number. And then here we need also to, you can see we are getting also the token. We're going to pass the token right here. The token, we are going to use it to get access to protected routes. It is a string. And then I'm going to do, if the user it is logged in, I'm going to store this data within the local storage. I'm going to pass here local storage, set rm, and then use user data, and then I'm pass here JSON stringify this data. I'm gonna store it within the local storage, and that's it, guys. Now let's try to log in again and see if we are going to, they're going to redirect us on the dashboard page. I'm going to refresh again and pass here this email ben11 at gmail.com again, and here I'm gonna pass it right here and try to pass 1 2 3 4 5 6 as the password, and click again login. And right now you can see they redirect us on the dashboard, and we haven't yet created the dashboard page. Alright guys, now let's work on the admin page, and we are going to get into the pages, and you can see we got the admin folder. We're going to create the entry point for that. We're gonna name it admin page.vue, and then I got a boilerplate for that. I'm gonna copy it within my subin text, and also we are going to create within the admin page, within the admin folder, we're going to create another folder components when we are going to put base components related to admin pages. And the first component that I'm not putting is going to be our navbar. And here I'm not creating another component and I name it navbar.view like this. But also I got the boilerplate for our navbar. I'm not copy it. And this is it. And right here, guys, we are going to paste it in the contents. And let me get into the admin page. Right here, you can see we got the navbar. It is a logout event. And right within the navbar, we are going to define a logout event that is going to be emitted within the admin page. And right here first, I'm going to create the logout function. And I'm gonna put in a console log. I'm gonna say console.log logout like this. I'm gonna pass here logout. And then you can see we have the main tag. And within the main tag, we got Laravel View built-in components, and we add in transition tag. This transition tag right here, it is a built-in Vue.js component. It allows to add a small animation when we are switching between pages. And you can see right here, we add some CSS code for that. You're going to copy it. I'm going to put the link down in the description of everything about these projects. And here, guys, this code, it is going to allow us to add a little animation. And we're going to get into, we need first to import the navbar. We're going to import the navbar. And then if we get into the navbar.view file, you're going to notice right here, we are going to pass here. We need also to, you can see we are creating a reactive property. It is an array of navigation of menu that our navbar it is going to have. We got dashboard. It is going to point to the admin page. We got projects. We got members. But also you can see right here, we just define an emit. We've defined emit macro. And here, guys, we are going to import also this app from the helper folder. And then here you can see our navbar has a logo. We're gonna pass here base euro like this. We have, and then within the public folder we got a logo. Let me show you. If we get into the public folder, you can see we got others folder and we got a logo within it. And then here you can see we use an L tag, and then we are going to iterate within our array navigation in order to display the menu. You can see right here we use Laravel link in order to add navigation. Laravel link right here, and then it takes the two attributes, and then we're going to use nav.link because within the array right here we got the link right here, and then we're going to iterate through it. And we got also right here another menu logout. When we're going to click on it, we're going to get out of the system, and here you can see we just emit the logout event. And we're going to go ahead and get into the router.ts file. Here we got the router.ts file, and within it we are going to create the admin page. Let us pass here admin, and then here we're going to pass here for the name, it is going to be admin. And right here I'm going to pass the name of the entry point admin.view, and we are going to load a page. And right now it doesn't have another page. Right here I'm going to pass here admin folder, and we are going to load a page. Within the admin page, we are going to start working on the member page. And I'm not creating another folder. I'm going to name it member, and we're going to creating a page. I'm going to say MemberPage.view. And within it, we're going to add in a template tag with a div. We're going to add in an h1, and then we're going to say member page, add it within the Laravel view. And right here we're going to pass it right here. You can see we're going to pass here the member. We need also to create the dashboard because this member page, it is not going to be the entry point. I'm going to duplicate that, and right here we're going to, within the admin page, I'm not creating another folder right here. I'm going to name it dashboard and pass here dashboard, and within the dashboard folder I'm not creating another file, dashboard page like this, dashboard page. And then we're going to put in also a small template, and then we're going to pass in an h1. We're going to say dashboard page. And within the router, writer.ts, and here I'm going to pass here the admin. It's going to be the routes that we are going to load when we just land on the we just tap /admin. We are going to load the dashboard page. I'm gonna pass here admin, and right here we need to get in the admin folder, and then within the dashboard folder, and we are going to hit the dashboard page, the view. And here we're going to pass here the member page. Pass here admin / we're gonna pass here member, and then member page the view like this. And for the dashboard, it seems we are getting right here, and then we're gonna pass here / and then we're gonna get into the dashboard folder and hit the dashboard page the view like this. And there we go. Now we need to try to check if it is going to work. Right here, I'm gonna pass here, instead of dashboard, I'm pass here admin, and right here you're going to see we're on the dashboard page. Now we are going to move to the member page. When I'm going to click on the member, you're going to see we need to load the member page. And right here, I'm gonna pass here members. This is the path, and for the root name, it's going to be members. And again, you can see we're on the member page. Right now, we already create. When we click on the dashboard menu, it loads the dashboard page, but also when we click on the member, it loads the member page. Now, let's get started with the creation of member. And right here within the member, right here, you can see within the member folder, I'm going to create first the components, the component folder, where we are going to put all components related to the member page, but also we are going to put in actions. I'm going to pass here another folder, actions, and the first component that I'm going to create for the member, it is going to be the member table. Member table, I'm going to name it member table, and within it, I'm going to creating a table. Right here, you're going to pass here a script tag, and then the length, it is going to be ts and setup. We're going to define, we're going to pass here first the table, the name, and email. And right here, we're going to pass here the email, and then we're going to display the data right here. We're going to pass here the ID, and pass here #1 and the name right here. And we're going to go ahead and get into the member page and import this component right here. I'm going to create first the script tag, and then we're going to pass it the length. It's going to be ts and setup attributes, and then we are going to import this component. And then here, guys, we are going to create right here, we're going to pass here a div with a class of container. And within the container, I'm going to put in the arrow. Let me zoom a little bit, guys. I'm going to pass here div of class. I'm going to pass here arrow. And we are going to put in the class of core medium A. Core class core medium A. And then within this class, I'm going to add in a car. And here, guys, I'm going to pass here our table. I'm going to pass here member table. And then within the car header, I'm gonna say right here members, and then I'm not adding a router link component. It is a built-in component that is provided by Vue. We don't need to import it, and it is going to have a tool. We are going to move to another page, create member, and create members, and then right here we're going to pass it right here, create member like this. And then it is going to have a class. We're going to pass the class of BTN primary. And then let's try to check what we get in the browser. And here you can see we are getting right here members. And we are going to move our button. We are going to do this style. We're going to float it to the right, float right. And within the member table, right here, we're going to add here the class of table bordered like this, table hover like this, and then we're going to have a beautiful table. And let's check. You can see right now we are getting a table, and we got right here a button and create a member like this. And here, guys, we are going to create the create member page. Right now, I'm not increase the width, the column. And within the member folder, I'm not creating another page, create member. and then we're gonna have it within it the column, the div with a class of container, and we're gonna pass here the class of core of we're gonna pass here row like this, and then we are going to pass in the class of core medium 6, and we are going to put in our member form right here. We're going to pass here the form, and we're going to put in two inputs. The first input, it is going to concern the email, and the second one is going to concern the first one is going to concern the name, and the second one is going to concern the email. And here I'm gonna pass here, first the label. Right here, I'm gonna pass here the label, and here I'm going to import our error component because we need to handle errors. We're going to get into the auth page right here, the auth folder, and within the login page, I'm going to copy this script right here. I'm gonna copy all of that and get into the create page, the create member page. Within the create member page, I'm gonna paste this script right here and try to comment all of that. And here you can see we just import required and email validators, but also we import the error, the base input, the BaseBtn. And here, guys, we are going to use this style. We're going to pass here. I'm going to get into the login page. You can see right here, we are passing right here the error component. We are passing here form group. And within the form group div, we are passing the error components plus the base input. And I'm going to copy that and get into the create member page. And I'm going to pass it right here. And here I'm going to say this, it is going to be the name. And here, guys, let's first define inputs for our form, for our member form. And right here, we are going to create also the action. We're going to say right here, we're going to say create member tiers. And within the create member, we're going to create in a function that's going to create or update a member. And I'm not go again within the action, within the auth folder actions, and copy content within the register. I'm not copy all of that and get into the create member.ts. I'm not press this content within this file and try to modify things. Right here, I'm going to first check. I'm going to check the input. For the input you're gonna pass here, I'm going to change. Right here, we're gonna say member input. I pass here member input like this, member input type, and then we're gonna click on replace all. For the input, we're gonna send the name. The name it is string, and the email. The name and the email. If we check within the member controller, you can see right here we are sending the name and email. And here within the create member.ts, we're going to say for the return type, we are returning a message. Right here you can see when the store function returns the validation error, but also it returns an object, this message, member created. And right here, I'm going to copy this. We are going to define right here, we're going to say the response type. Right here, we are going to pass, we are going to say member response type. We're going to change it first, pass here member response type like this, and then we're going to click replace all, and again we are going to create an input. We're going to say member. We're going to pass here again, we need to replace the register input to member input, and click again on replace all. And right here we are going to pass here, we are going to change the name of the composable to use create or update member. This is going to be the role of this function. It is going to create or update the member. And right now we are going to add in logic that is going to create right now the member, and later on we are going to add in another logic that is going to update the member. Now let's import makeHttpReq function. We are going to import it, and right here we are going to hit the members endpoint. We're going to pass here members like this. We are going to send it, we're going to use the post HTTP verb, and right here we need also to import the success function. But also we already creating within the util.ts file, we got a function. Let me use it. We have show error response type. We got the util. Within the helper, we got the util.ts. We got a function show error response. This function show an array. It allows to display an array of errors, but also it can display an object of an error. And right here, I'm gonna use this function. I'm gonna go within the CreateMember.ts, and here, guys, I'm gonna paste it right here and pass here our error and import show error response function. And now, guys, we are going to pass here for the register. We're going to say create member and pass here create or update. This is the name of the function. And right here, I'm going to return it and use this composable within the CreateMember.Vue. And right here, we are going to pass here first. Right here, for the inputs that we need to validate, we are going to validate right here the email, but also the name. The name, it is going to be required. Now we are going to uncomment this use validate composable function, and right here we are going to pass here our member inputs. And here you can see we are going to import the use create or update member, and we are going to pass it right here. You need to pass it right here and get access to the create. First of all, we need to import it. Yeah, we just import it, and right here we're going to say create or update member. We are going to get access to this. We need to pass it right here to the form create. Right here we should pass create or update. You can see we have a mistake, create or update, like this, or update. And then we are going to return this function create or update, and we're going to modify it right here. And within the member, we're going to pass here create or update. And here we're going to pass here create or update. And right here we're going to pass v.email, but also we are going to pass here the name of the member. And I'm going to copy that and duplicate it. Here I'm going to do that. I'm going to paste it right here 2 times. Let us copy it right here, member input. Again, and then right here we're going to pass it that name, and also member input that email, and right here we're going to pass here the email for the label. And then we're going to go ahead and get into again the create within the login page, and we're going to copy the BaseBtn. We're going to use it, and we're going to paste it in within the create member. Right here we're going to pass here BaseBtn and the BaseBtn. And right here we are going to change the label to create member. And right now we haven't yet created the roots for the create member page, and we're going to go ahead and get into within the router the TS, and you can see right here within the member page we got a function, we got a path create members, and we are going to pass it within the router.ts. And here I'm gonna pass it right here. We are going to pass it. Now we are going to pass here member that create, pass here create member. I'm gonna pass here create member like this. And then we're going to get into the browser. If we click on create member, we're gonna move to the create member page. And we need to import some components within this create member page. Create member. You can see right now we are getting an error. This is the error, failed to resolve import error component of view. We need to import it. Right here we're going to do import. We're going to comment first this, and then we're going to import the error component, the base input, and the BaseBtn, and then we're going to get rid of this. Now we are going to try to see if we're going to display this page. I'm gonna click again create member, and then you can see right now we're on the create member page, and I'm gonna pass here an h1 tag right here. I'm gonna add it right here. I'll pass here h3 create member like this, guys. Create members and 2 break tag, and we can see we got the button, and right here I'm gonna remove 1 break tag. And here we are going to add a little space, and then here, guys, you can see we got a form that is going to allow us to create a member. we need to provide the name and email. And here, guys, we are going to create right here a function. I'm gonna say submit member, and this submit member, we're going to change this. We made a mistake. We're gonna pass here submit member, and here, guys, we are going to pass here create or update function, and we're gonna pass it right here like this, guys. And then we're going to try to test this if it is going to work. Now, guys, let's try to see what we get in the browser. And right here, I'm gonna pass here the name of a member that I want to create. I'm gonna pass here Isaac, and then we are going to hit the button create member. And once done, you can see we got a message member created. And right here, I'm gonna add right here a link that is going to redirect us on the member page, where we are going to display a list of created member. And here, guys, we are going to add here a router link. I'm gonna pass here router link, and then we're gonna pass here we're gonna pass here members, the path, and here I'm gonna say see members list. And I'm gonna pass right here another break tag. And you can see right now, if we move to the create member page, you can see we got a link right here, see member list. If I click on it, I'm on the members page. Now we need to get a list of created members. And right here, right now, our API, it is not protected. We are going to get access to members. I'll pass here API, the base URL members, in order to see which kind of data we are getting. You can see right now we are getting a data object. It is an object, and within it we got the data in other properties, but also we got data metadata for the pagination. Right now we need to tap this data, and we are going to get in the actions folder within the member folder, and we're going to create in another folder. We're going to say get member.ts, and here we're going to create a composable function. Right now we are going to create the type for that. We are going to say we're going to export type. We're going to say type get member type, and then it is going to takes a data, and it is going to take, you can see right here, it takes a data property, and also we have another data which holds an array of members. We have the ID, name, and email, but also we have the field created it and updated it. We are not going to use this field. And right here I'm gonna pass here an array. I'm gonna pass here an array of members. I'm gonna pass here an object. I'm gonna say right here, we're gonna pass here the ID. It is going to be a number, the name, string, and email. And here we are going to say the get member type. It is going to be also it is going to take an intersection type. It can be an object. It can take also an object. I'm gonna pass here a string, and the type is going to be any. Because right now, if we see, you can see right here, guys, we have this data, and we got other metadata that is going to allow us to do pagination. We are not going to add all this metadata, but we are going to say that right here, the get member type can have other type. Yeah, that is the importance of the record type. It is a TypeScript utility type. And here, guys, I'm going to create a composable function. I'm gonna say it's for function get member, use get members, and within it we are going to copy the content. I'm gonna get into the create member first, and right here I'm going to copy this stuff right here and paste it in. And here, guys, we are going to use the get_HTTP. We're gonna pass it right here get. We need to import the makeHttpReq function. We are going to stay with the loading, but also we are going to create another constant right here that is going to hold the data of members. I'm gonna pass here, I'm gonna say const member data, and we're gonna pass it ref. We're gonna tap it with the get member type, and we are going to say it is going to return an object, and we are going to assert it to a type of get member type like this. And then right here, the get, we are not going to send data. Right here, we're going to pass here for the response type, for the member input type. For the inputs, we are going to send undefined. It's going to be undefined. Member response type, we're going to pass here the get member type right here. And here we are going to hit the members endpoint. The HTTP verb is get. And for the input, we are going to pass here blank. And you can see right now, TypeScript underlines the makeHttpReq. Say that we need to pass the third parameter. Now here, we are going to get into the makeHttp function. We are going to say that the input right here, you can see the input can be optional like this by adding this question mark. It is going to be optional. And right here, you can see for the get request, we are not going to send data to the server, but we need to get data from the server. Yeah, you can see the error disappear as we just make the third parameter of the makeHttpReq optional. And right here, we're going to say, we're going to pass here the member data. We're going to do member data variable.value, and then we are going to assign it to this data right here. And we are going to get rid of all of that. If we got an error, we are going to display that error. And here we're going to return the function get members, and then we are going to get into the members page. We're going to pass it right here, members page. We are going to call it member, and right here we are going to use unmounted hook from Vue. It is going to call this function when this component it is going to be loaded to the DOM. And here we are going to say it is going to be an asynchronous function. I'm going to pass here this function. I'm going to say show list of members, and then I'm going to call it right here. I'm going to pass here a wait, and then I'm going to pass get members, and right here I'm going to add here a sync. Yeah, like this, because within our show list of members we have a promise, and we are going to use a composable use get members. I'm going to pass here within the member page. I'm going to pass here this. I'm going to pass it right here, and then we're going to get access to the get member function plus the loading variable. And here we need to import this use get member composable. We're going to import it, and we're going to call this function show list of members. And right here, guys, you can see we got a MemberTable component. We are going to get in and add a prop within it. And first of all, we need to import a type within the getMember.ts action. We got a type getMemberType, and within the member table, we are going to define a prop. We're gonna say define props, and then we are going to pass here members. It is going to be a type of getMemberType, and I'm going to import it. And right here, we are going to iterate through these members. Yeah, it is going to be an array. Right here, you can see we're going to do this. It is an object and it contains data object, and it is another data object. We're going to get access to this array. We are going to iterate through it. And right here, we're going to pass here v4 directive v4, and we're going to say member in members that we're going to add here that, and then that we are going to get access to this array. We're going to pass here this. We are going to use here, this is optional chaining in order to avoid an error in case we doesn't have this property. We're going to pass here data, and then we are going to pass here the key. We are going to pass here member.id like this, and right here we're going to display the member.id, and also we need to display the member name and email. And if we get into the member page, you can see right now we are getting right here an error because we haven't yet passed to this member table components this members property. We're going to pass it right here, pass here members. We're going to pass here members, and if you get into our use get member, you can see right now we are getting we have right within the use get members composable, we got a function, we got a variable member data. We need also to return this data, this variable, and then we're going to get access to it right here. We need to extract it, and then we are going to pass it to right here, members. And then if we get into the browser, we are going to display data. And let's try to see. I'm gonna refresh. And right here, you can see we are displaying a list of members. And right here, guys, I'm going to create another column that is going to have the action, the edit button. I'm gonna get into the member table again. And right here, I'm going to add in a column. I'm gonna say edit, and pass here table boarded like this, boarded. Table hover, table, we're gonna add here also another table strips. And here we are going to pass here the button. We're gonna add here button, edit button. We're gonna pass here button with a class of BTN outline primary, outline primary, and then we're gonna pass here edit. And we're going to defining an event. We're gonna pass here emit, const emit. We're gonna pass here define emit, and we're gonna defining an event. We're gonna pass here e to say that we need to create an event, and then the name of the event, edit member. And then right here we're going to pass here the data. We are going to say the type. We are going to pass here. If we get into the get member, we can see right here we are passing right here this object, and I'm going to create a type for that. I'm gonna do this export type. I'm gonna say member type, and then I'm going to pass it right within this array and export it. I'm gonna pass it within the table member table component. I'm gonna say this edit member. It is going to take a parameter of type of member type like this, and we are going to import it with member type. Let us import it. Right here, guys, we're going to pass here the edit, and then we need to say that this function, it is not going to return anything void, and like that, guys. And if we get into the browser and refresh again, yeah, we're getting data. Right now we're getting the button right here. Let me reduce the zoom. You can see right now we're getting this button right here, edit. And again, guys, we need to add this event to this button. We're gonna pass here click that we are going to emit this event when we click on the edit button, but also it is type. You can see if it doesn't pass it the data, you can see the underlines it, because you can see we have to pass it the member this. And if we over the member, it is a type of member type. We're gonna pass it right here, member, yeah, like this. And we are going to go ahead and get into the member table. Right here, guys, I'm going to first to format my document, and here, guys, we are going to wrap it in our table within a div. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna pass here div of class row, and then I'm going to create another row. I'm gonna pass here the class of row, and then I'm gonna put in our table. And right here, guys, here I'm going to pass here a class of row, and within this row is where I'm going to put in our search form. I'm gonna pass here the class of core medium 4, and then I'm going to pass in a bootstrap form. I'm gonna pass here the input, and it is going to be type of text and the class of form control, guys. And if you get into the browser, you're going to see that you're getting right here an input, but also I need to add some code to our table and pass here the table head. I forget to add it, but also I need to pass here the table body for our table. I'm gonna pass here the table body like this, and then we're going to have a beautiful table and pass here the content, yeah, like this, guys. And then right here, guys, you're going to see that we're getting right here the table, and we need to pass here the member. The member is the parameter that we're going to pass to the edit member function when we are going to emit it. And if you get into the browser, you can see right now you're getting a table which has a good style, but also we got a search form right here. I'm gonna add there a placeholder and pass here let me say placeholder search. And then here, guys, what we need to do is to add a search on this form. And I'm not getting to the member.ts file. And right here, I'm not pass here a query. I'm not say it's going to be a type of string, and I'm not assign it empty. I'm not say it is going to be the default value. If you get into the browser, guys, and you can see our API right here, you can see this is the member API. And if we try to hit this endpoint, we can pass it a query. And the query can pass even John. If we pass it a query, which doesn't have value, you can see we are getting a list of created member. All members which exist within our table are going to be returned. And if we pass right here the name of a specific member, we are going to return him. Pass here John, and you can see right now we are getting John as we are passing it to the query John. And right here within our query, we are going to pass here the query. We're going to pass here the query. We're going to pass here the query, and for the default value, it is going to be empty. And we're going to get into the member table, and right here we're going to define another event. It is going to be get member, and the get member, it is going to take a query. This is the parameter, and the type is going to be a string. And we are going to create a search function right here, search, that we are going to pass to we are going to emit this function, because right now we are going to creating a query. We're going to say const query, and it is going to be a reactive property. And right here, I'm going to import first the ref function from Vue. We're going to import right here, import ref from Vue. And then, guys, we need to pass here. We need to bound this query parameter to our input vmodel, and then we're going to pass the here query. And what we are going to do, we are going to emit this function, emit get member, and we are going to pass here the query that value. We are going to pass it the value when we are going to emit it. And right now we are going to create a debounce function that is going to allow us to delay the execution of the get member function, so that we cannot bombarding our server with too many requests. And we're going to get into the util.ts file, and right here I'm going to create a debounce function. I'm going to say function my debounce, and then this debounce function is going to take a premise. I'm going to pass here it is a function. I'm going to pass here premise, and the type is going to be a generic type. And here it is going to take for the second parameter the delay. We're going to pass here, it is going to be in number, and right here we're going to say timer. We're going to pass it the timer, and here we're going to return a function, and within this function we are going to first to clear out the timer, and we're going to pass it the timer, and then we are going to call this function within a specified amount of time. After 2 milliseconds, we're going to pass here set timeout, and then right here we're going to call this function, and then we're going to pass here the delay. If we pass here 2 milliseconds, they're going to call our function after 2 milliseconds. That is the purpose of the myDebounce function. I'm going to copy it and get into the MemberTable, the Vue component, and right here I'm going to pass here debounce, and this debounce function we need to pass it to parameter. The first one it is a promise. I'm going to pass here sync function, and then we are going to pass here a wait, because right here this get member is a promise. I'm going to pass here the return type is a promise or void. I'm going to pass here this so that it is a promise, so that we can await it. And the second parameter I'm going to pass here 2 milliseconds, and we need also to import our debounce function from the util.ts file, like this, guys. And then we are going to add the search to our input. We're going to pass here the search, I'll pass here key down, and then we are going to pass here the search. And right now, guys, we need to call this function within the member page. you can see right now we need to emit this function. We're gonna pass here this function, and then we're gonna pass here the get member function, get members. We are going to call it every time we are tapping within the input search. And here, guys, if we try to refresh again, let us do this and refresh a bit. Let us see what we get. Right now we are getting data, and if you try to look for a given member, I'm going to pass here Ben. We are going to get Ben, and right now, yeah, we are getting Ben. Our function, it is working, and you can see right now we are getting a loading icon right here. We're going to pass here this loading icon. We're going to pass it to our member table. It is going to be a prop. We're going to pass here loading. And then we are going to define this prop within the member table. It is going to be a boolean. I'm going to pass here loading, and I'll say it is going to be a boolean like this. And we are going to show this. We are going to show something under our inputs. We are going to pass here a small span, and then it is going to be right here. We're going to have a bold. We're going to say searching like this. And then right here, we're going to pass it style color blue. I'm going to pass it color blue. And then I'm going to pass here v-if, v-show. I'm going to pass here v-show. And then I'm going to pass here the loading, the loading property. And guys, if we get into the browser, you can see right now we're getting right here searching. And then here right now, let us see the status of the loading property. Let us check. Right now the status of the loading property, it is false. And right here I'm going to do this. If I'm going to pass here this, if it is true, it is going to show up. I'm going to pass here searching. I need to pass it right here, yeah, v show, and then I'm going to check if the value it is true. We're going to do true, else false, like this. And then we're going to remove it. And then guys, we are going to remove that and try to check if it is going to work. I'm going to add here a little space, and then let's try to see. Let me first search for a given member. I'm going to pass here Ben, and then guys, let me add right here. It seems we're getting an issue. Let me add here another break tag and refresh again. I'm going to pass here after 2 milliseconds, not 2 seconds. Yeah, let me refresh. And here guys, we are going to call this, we are going to call the get member function after 2 milliseconds. Once they detect that we stop tapping within the search form, they are going to launch a query to the server. If I tap here Isaac, you can see you're getting Isaac. If I tap right here Ben, you're getting Ben. Yeah, and this is how it works, guys. Now we need to add pagination. And to do so, we're going to go at a documentation, Laravel Vue pagination. And once you're there, guys, you're going to copy this command, npm install Laravel Vue pagination within your command prompt. And as I'm using Bootstrap 5, I'm going to copy this. And if you're using Tailwind CSS, you're going to copy this. This is for those who are using Tailwind CSS, but I'm using Bootstrap. I'm going to copy the second line and get into my member page and use it. And within my member page right here, I'm going to pass it, I'm going to paste it in within the member page right here. And then guys, we are going to use this pagination. We are going to pass it right here within the member page, within the member table. We are going to add it. We are going to pass it as a slot. And right here, I'm going to do this. I'm going to pass it right here. We are going to say we're going to use it as a slot. Right now, we are going to copy this. And right here, we're going to pass it right here. And we're going to get into the member table and add it. Within the member table, we are going to pass here the slot. The slot, it is like a placeholder for a component. I can say you take it as a parameter every time I'm saying that in order to understand, so that you can understand it pretty well. And right here, I'm going to pass here. You can see our table is wrapped in a rule. And here, I'm going to pass our our slot right here. We're gonna name it. We're gonna say pagination. And within the member page, we need also to pass here a template tag because our slot has a name. I'm gonna pass here. Let me pass here the name. The name we're gonna pass here first the template, and then we're gonna say the name it is pagination. Pagination like this. You can see right now I'm passing here an H tag, but also I can pass even the name right here like this. And the H tag it is a shortcut, but also you can pass the name like this. It is going to work. But also you're going to pass it an event. It is pagination change event. Pagination change, and then we're gonna pass here on pagination change page. This is the event, and then we're gonna pass here get members and try to see within the browser. It seems it doesn't display, guys. You can see we need to pass here the pagination, which is gonna pass here an H tag to display this slot, this component. If we get into the member table, you can see right here, guys, I've passed here the slot name is pagination. And in order to get access to this slot, in order to display this placeholder, which is our pagination, we're going to pass here an H tag and the pagination, and then we're going to display this Bootstrap 5 pagination. And here, guys, if you see, you can see right now it displayed, and then we are going to click on a page, and then we're going to get data. And right now it seems we're getting an issue. Let me refresh again and see what we get in console. I'm not getting to the console, guys. Let me refresh. I'm gonna pass here create member on this page and try to see what we get. I'm not getting to the members page, and it seems we have an issue there because you can see right now we're getting an error. Cannot read property of undefined reading metadata. This is error. It is provoked by our Laravel Vue pagination. And to handle that, we are going to check if this data it is not undefined. And right here, I'm gonna pass here a v-if. I'm gonna try to check if it is not undefined. I'll pass here a v-if, and then if it is undefined, we are not going to display this Bootstrap 5 pagination component. And I'm gonna refresh again and try to see what we get in browser. And you can see right now we're getting these components. I'm gonna click on the second page here, guys. You're going to see, the page doesn't change. Members with the query is 2, it takes 2, and the page 1. What we're going to do, we are going to create right here. You can see we have right here the function get members. And what we are going to do is to get into within the get member.ts action right here. You're going to see that we pass this. The query is the first parameter, and the page is the second parameter. We are going to do an inversion because when we click on this pagination on a given page, the append right here, you can see we have 2. Because the change pagination method, you got an event bound to this component Bootstrap 5 pagination. You can see right here the pagination change page takes a parameter, and this parameter it is a page, and we're going to do an inversion as the first parameter is the page. We are going to do an inversion, and we're going to get into the member.ts file, and right here I'm going to pass here the query. It is going to be our second parameter, and the page our first parameter. That's what we are going to do right now. And here, guys, we are going to get into the MemberTable component.ts, and then we're going to do an inversion right here. The query is going to be the second parameter. We're going to do this, and then we are going to change right here to, and here we're going to pass here the page and then the query like this. And again, we are going to try to send and we are going to try to hit on the pagination and try to see if it is going to work. And again, I'm gonna click on pagination. Let me clear out the console. I'm gonna click again on the second page, and then you can see the page it is changing automatically. Right now we're on the second page, and you can see Isaac the King is on the second page, and then I can move to the first page, and our pagination is working pretty well successfully. But also I can look for a given member. I'm gonna pass here John, pass here John like this. We're getting John. Now guys, let's update a member, and we're going to use Pinia for that. And we're gonna go ahead and get into the app.ts file. Pinia, it is going to play a role of a central storage, but also a role of a bridge. For the member page, we are going to use the member page right here. You can see when we are going to click on the edit button, we are going to pass this data to Pinia, and we're going to use Pinia to pass this data to the create member page. This is the role of Pinia is going to play, the role of a bridge and central data storage at the same time. And within the app.ts, we need also to import the Pinia instance, and we're going to pass it to the Vue instance that use, and then we're going to pass here create Pinia. I got a boilerplate for a Pinia store. I'm going to copy it and get into the member folder. I'm going to create right here a store folder. And guys, I'm gonna paste our boilerplate. You can see this is the boilerplate. You can see we got a function defined store, and the name of our store is member. And but also a Pinia store can take a state, actions, and getters. But right now I'm going to use a state. You can go check it out. If you doesn't familiar with Pinia, I'm going to put the link down in the description about Pinia. You're going to learn Pinia. It is a state management. It is an alternative for Redux. And then here, guys, we are going to pass here data. And here, I'm going to get into the actions folder. You can see we got CreateMemberPage. And right now, you can see we got a constant right here, member input. And we type it with the member input type. Now we are going to pass this input within the Pinia. We are going to create in the state appropriate. I'm going to say member input. This is going to be the new input, and I just type it with the member input type. And I'm going to use Pinia for that. I'm going to get into again within the CreateMember.ts. I'm going to remove that, and right now I'm going to use Pinia, our Pinia store, member store, and then I'm going to get access to the member input, and right now we are going to do that, and we're going to pass it right here, and then we are going to initialize our input. But also you can see within the create member page, we need also to import in Pinia, because right now it doesn't use this input. We are going to pass data to Pinia, and here guys, I'm going to uncomment. I'm going to remove that. I'm going to pass here member store, yeah, our Pinia store, and then right here we are going to pass. We are going to get access to this data, and then also we need to pass it right here. I'm going to pass it right here, member input name. But also we need to get access to the email like this, guys. If I try to tap within, if I get into the browser and try to do a small test, guys, you're going to see I'm gonna go at the create page and tap here the name. You can see we are getting right here the name. I can pass here Bob and the email of Bob like this, and then I can send. I'll click on send. You can see I'm going to create a member. Yeah, member created. You can see we got a message, member created. Yeah, it works pretty well. Now we are going to create in the member store. We are going to pass in appropriate. We are going to pass here edit. We are going to say false. It is going to be a boolean. And when we're going to click on the edit button, on this button, we are going to change the status of this edit button. We are going to change it to true. And here, I'm gonna go within my member table. It is right here. Let us go into the member table. And right here, you can see we got the edit member. We're going to click on this button, and then we are going to move to another page. And within the member page, I'm not creating a function right here. I'm gonna say function edit member, and the edit member, it takes a member type as parameter. I'm pass here member type. And we are going to use view router in order to move to another page. I'm going to create right here a constant router and use the use router composable. And then right here, guys, when we are going to click on edit member, we are going to do router.push. We are going to move to create members page. But also we are going to change the edit button, the edit property within the member store. I'm going to pass here that edit, and then we are going to change the value to true. To true, it means we need to update a given member. And then here, guys, we are going to pass here. You can see within the member store, we got member input right here. We are going to pass it data. We're going to do member store that input member input, and then we're going to pass it the member. Let me do this. We're going to assign it the member, and then we're going to call this function on our member table right here. We're going to emit it, and then we're going to pass it right there. If you try to check, you're going to notice I'm now getting to the console and click on edit. You're going to see I'm going to click on edit. We just move to the create members, but also you can see we just pass to the member input the ID, name, and email, but also it is other fields like created at and updated at. And here, guys, what I'm going to do, I'm going to pass, I'm going to use this ID to update a member. And I'm not getting to the member.ts action. Here, create member.ts action. And right here, I'm going to create another function right here, async. I'm going to say function, pass here function, create member like this. And then we are going to copy this content right here. I'm going to copy that. And then, guys, I'm going to check. I'm going to create member, and then we are going to check. We're going to do a check right here. We're going to say this const data, and then we're going to get access to the member store that edit. If edit it is true, we are going to update a member. We are going to create another function right here, update a member. I'm going to pass here update member. This is the second function. We are going to call it, we're going to call update member, and right here we're going to pass here a wait date member, else we are going to create member. We're going to pass here create member like this. And guys, let me do this. And guys, you're going to see that when the edit property, it is going to be to true, we are going to update a member. When it is going to be to false, we are going to create a member. When you create a member, we are going to change, we're going to change the edit property within the member store. We are going to change it to false. We're going to pass here edit, and then we're going to assign it false. And we need also to return the data. And here also within the update member, we need also to return the data. Right here, we are going to create a member. When we are going to create a member, we are going to change it to false. We are not going to change it to false. I'm going to change it to false when we just update a member, and then we are going to return the data. And here, guys, you're going to notice right here, you can see on this page, it is data. Now this button, if the user want to update data, he can't know if we need to update the data, because the button has the same color. We are going to change the color of this button, and we are going to get into the member page and try to add a small check on the base button, create member. And right here, we're going to add a class. I'm gonna say class here. And here, guys, let us do this. If you get into the browser and refresh again, right now, it doesn't have right here data. And then we are going to go at the members page and click again on edit. And you can see right now the button change, create member. Now let's change the label also. For the label also, we are going to copy this edit right here, this property. And then we are going to pass it to our label. We are going to bind it to the label. We are going to add here to semicolon in order to do bindings. And here we're going to check if edit it is true, we are going to pass here update member. Else we are going to do create, we're going to pass here. Right now we are going to do update member, and then we're going to edit a member. Yeah, let's see. Yeah, you can see right now we are getting right here update member. When the edit is going to be to true, we are going to send update member. To false, create member. And once we just update a member, we need to change the status of the button. Once we update, we're going to change it to false to say that we can create now a given member. We can't update again. And now, guys, we are going to change the HTTP verb. You can see right now we need to pass here put, because if you go within the API.php file, you're going to see right here we got put. And within the member controller, in order to update a member, we need to pass here the ID, name, and email. And I'm going to try to check if we're going to update a member. And I'm going to go again on CList on the member page and refresh. And now I'm going to click on edit. I'm going to try to change the name of edit to Chris. Let me pass here Chris, and then I'm going to click update. Yeah, you can see you got a message member update, and if you go to the member page, you're going to see right now we are getting Chris. Yeah, the edit we just done with the edit button. Now, guys, let's secure our admin area. Guys, right now our admin area isn't secured, and we need to secure all our endpoints. And guys, before I go ahead, I need to show you something. You can see when I'm going to click on edit, you can see right here we're getting John. But if I go to see members and I click on create member, you can see we still get right here update member. And we need to initialize it when we get on the member page. That's what we're going to do. And here, guys, I'm going to get into the member page, and I'm going to use this function, the member store, and I'm going to say once we land on this page, we are going to change the edit to false, but also we need to initialize the member input to empty. We're gonna try to initialize it every time we're on this page. We're going to pass here, let us see the type. We're going to initialize it to this type right here. We're gonna to the member input type. We're gonna pass it right here as this type. And then, guys, when we are going to let us import it first, and we are going to import it. And then, guys, if again we click on edit, let me refresh first. If again we click on edit, we're on the edit page, and you can see right now we have the possibility to update this member. We can add here Chris dash dash dash, and it is going to be updated. And if we go to the members page, you can see right now we got Chris dash dash. And if we try again to update another member, let's say John, I click on edit, but I don't want to update this member. I can go back to the member page, and if I click on create member, I can see the create, and now we just fix it. And now let's secure our admin area. We are going to use, you can see right now all our endpoints unsecured. You can see we got projects, members, all these endpoints unsecured. Now we are going to use Laravel Sanctum in order to secure all our endpoints. We're going to pass here a middleware. We're going to use roots. We're going to pass here group, and then we're going to pass here middleware, and then we're going to pass here an array. When I say we're going to use Laravel Sanctum, we're going to pass here of Sanctum. This is the middleware that we want to use in order to secure all our endpoints. And then we're going to pass here function, a closure, and then we are going to put all our endpoints that we need to secure within this middleware. We're going to add here semicolon, and here I'm going to add this right there. Right now, guys, all our endpoints are secured. You can see we just wrap all our endpoints within this middleware of Sanctum. And if you try to get access to a given endpoint within the browser, you're going to see, let's say we need to get access to members. gonna pass here API members, and then try to launch it. You can see we are getting an error. They try to redirect us on the login page. You can see root login not defined. We're getting an error, and this is the path of the exception that we need to handle. And we are going to get into the app within the Bootstrap right here within Laravel. You can see we got Bootstrap folder, and we within app.php. And right here you can see with middleware. Here we got with exceptions. We need to handle the error within this function right here, within this closure. We are going to copy this roots right here. I've already do that. I'm not copy all of that and paste it in within my app.php file in order to handle this error within with exception. We need to try to handle this exception. And in order to handle this exception, we need to import it. Right here, you can see some funny components routing exception, root not found exception. This is the exception that we need to handle. You can see right here, and we are going to pass it. Right here, we just import it, and we are going to use exceptions render. And now we are going to catch this. And again, if we try to get access to a given endpoint which is protected, we are going to send to the user a message of not authenticated, but also the status of 401. That's what we are going to get right now. I'm gonna click again. Yeah, you can see we got an object with a message not authenticated, but also the status of 401. And we just handle the header. At the backend, all our endpoints, which are that we wrap within the of Laravel Sanctum middleware, are secured. You can see, but here you can see we got two endpoints which is unprotected. Register and login, they are going to be unprotected. And right now we need to use the token provided by Laravel Sanctum in order to get access, in order to hit a given endpoint which is protected. We are going to go within our Vue app, within the utils, within the helper folder. We are going to create in a file, get user data.ts, and we are going to export it first. Function get user data, and then here, guys, you can see when we log in, we are going to get into the O folder. We got the O folder right here, and login. Within the login.ts action, right here you can see this is the return tab, login response type. We are going to use it, and we are going to tap our function right here, get user data. We're gonna say our function, it is going to return login response type, but also it can return undefined. We're gonna pass here, can return undefined. And here we're going to use try catch block because we need to pass the data within the local storage. We're going to pass here user, we're going to say user data, and then we're going to use the local storage that get rm, which is the user data, and then we are going to parse it. You're going to say we are going to create a constant connected, pass here connected user, and then we are going to type it with the login response type, and then we are going to say JSON parse. We need to try to convert a JSON text to a JavaScript value, and then we're going to pass here user data. And right here guys, we need to check first. You can see right now we are getting an error right here. Here you can see argument of type string or now is not assignable to parameter of type string, and the JSON.parse function takes a string. Now we are going to check if the user data is not null, and a type of null, it is an object. We are going to say if type of user data is not an object. Yeah, this is the type of a null. If it's not an object, we are going to parse it, and then we are going to return connected user. And in case we get an error, we are going to do console.log.error, and then we assert it to the error interface, and then we get access to the message property provided by the error interface. And then we are going to get into within our makeHttpReq. makeHttpReq. You can see right here, we are going to add another key. Right here within the errors, we are going to add here authorization. Now pass here authorization key property, and then bear. We are going to send the bear like this, plus the token. We are going to pass here the token const user data, and then we're going to use the function get user data. Let us call it, and then right here, guys, we are going to do user data that token like this. We are going to send the token to the server in order to get data. Let me first comment this. I'm not comment the authorization property right here, and if I get into the admin, see members list, you're going to see we are getting a message not authenticated. You can see right here we are getting not authenticated. If I try to search for a given member, you can see we are getting a message not authenticated. And in order to get data from the server, we need to send a valid token. I'm gonna pass here a valid token, and then you can see, boom, we are getting data from the server because we are sending the token to the server. And guys, you can see right now, we need also, if we log in, we need to remove the token from the table. Let me show you. If we get into our database, we real-time app, you can see we got a table personal access tokens where all logged in user, they store their tokens. You can see these are logged in user, and we need to remove this. I'm not clear out all of that first. I'm going to select check all and clear. And then guys, we are going to try to log in a user, and then we are going to see his token. And right now, I'm now move to the login page and show you something. As we run the login page, I'm going to try to log in a user, given user. I'm going to pass here Ben, and then click login. Yeah, we need to pass here. Let me pass it G, here G, and then we're going to send. And then we are going to log in, and then you can see right now we're on the dashboard. We need to redirect on the admin. We are going to change within the login.ts file. You can see right here login.ts. Here guys, we need to change here. We need to redirect to the admin, not the dashboard. And then once we're on the dashboard, guys, you're going to see within the personal access tokens table, we got the ID 20 and the token of the logged in user. Now we need to log out this user. We are going to implement the logout endpoint. We are going to get into the API.php file, and right here we are going to add this. I'm gonna copy this and get into the auth. I'm gonna add here an endpoint logout. We are going to use post because we are going to send the user ID that we want to log out. And here we're going to hit the method logout user like this, and get into the auth controller right here. I'm gonna get into the auth controller public function. I'm gonna pass here logout user, and then we are going to use the DB class. We're gonna pass here the table. The table, it is personal access token. I'm gonna copy this and pass it to the DB class here, and then we are going to delete the ID of a given user. You can see right here we got a column tokenable ID, and then we are going to do delete. We're going to delete this user. We're gonna pass here the request class request, and then we are going to delete this user request user ID. Right here you can see we're getting the error disappear, and then we are going to return a little message. We'll pass here return response logout user. This is the message, and now we are going to create another action within the within the user actions folder. It is going to log out the user. We are going to say right here, we are going to put this action within the admin folder, because this action, it is related to the menu, to the dashboard menu. And then right here, I'm going to create another action, And within the actions folder, we're going to put in actions related to the dashboard. And here, the first action that we're going to create is logout. We're going to pass here logout.ts, and we're going to get into the login. We're going to copy this logic right here. I'm going to copy all of that and get into the logout.ts file. Right now, we are going to remove all of that, and we are going to change the composable. Is going to be use logout. We're going to pass use logout user, and then we're going to pass here logout, and then here, guys, you can see we need to specify right here the T inputs. The input that we need to send, it is going to be the user ID, and then we're going to say it is going to be a number. And for the response, it is a message. It is a type of string, and we're going to pass here the user ID is a number. And for the input right here, we are going to send an object user ID like this, and then we are going to get rid of all of that. Then we're going to remove that too, and that's pretty much it. Now we need to pass here, we need to return the function logout, and we are going to go within the admin page.vue, and right here you can see we got a function logout user, and we are going to call first our composable. We're going to pass here logout, and then we just assign our composable. Now let's import our function, and right here we're going to say that the logout user function, it is going to be an asynchronous function, async, and then we're going to call this function. We're going to pass it right here. Let's say await. We are going to await for this request finish in order to continue. And you can see the logout takes a user ID. It is a type of number, and I'm gonna call the user data and get user function. You can see it returns a login response type, and we are going to get access to the ID. And right here, I'm gonna pass here. I'm gonna create a constant user ID and do user data. That you can see when you do user data, we are going to get access to the ID, and then we're going to get access to the ID right here. You can see it is a type of, it has two types. It can be a number or undefined. And I'm gonna check if type of user ID, it is not undefined. This is a type guide, guys, and I'm going to call the logout function and pass here the user ID like this. Yeah, it works. And then after that, we need to clear out the local storage. We're going to clear. We're going to do a local storage clear, and then we're going to set timeout, and then we're going to redirect. We're going to do window.location. We're going to redirect the user on the login page. Window.location.href. We're gonna do /app/login, and then we are going to redirect the user on the login page after 2 seconds. Yeah, after 1 second, guys. And then you can see right here we just call this within the navbar. We have this event. We have right here emit logout. They emit the logout function, and we are going to say here it is a promise. We're going to pass here promise. Let us pass here promise so that it's going to be clear. It is a promise, and we just pass it to the logout menu. When we are going to emit it, the logout, they're going to fire this function within the admin page.vue. Right here, they're going to fire this function, and then they're going to log out the user. Right now, I need to get into but also within the menu, within the navbar, we can want to display here the email of the logged in user. We're going to pass here, let's say, we're going to pass here the email. We're going to say logged in user email. We're going to pass only the email. It is going to be a prop. We're going to define a prop right here. We're going to do define props, and then we're going to pass it right here. It is going to be a type of string, and then you can pass it there. We can say it is going to have two types. It can be a string or undefined. Yeah. And then within the admin page that view right here, within this page, we are going to get access to the email of the logged in user. We're going to pass here, you can see right now, they underlines the navbar component. We need to pass it logged in user prop. And then we're going to pass here logged in. We're going to do logged in user prop. I'm going to pass here semicolon, logged in user. Let me pass this. Let me get into this component and copy it. Pass this component and get into the admin page and pass this component and use data that user ID that email. And then we are going to display the email of the logged in user. You can see right now, it takes the email right here. It can be a string or undefined. And the logged in user takes a string or undefined. And if we get into the browser, you're going to see right here, we are going to refresh. And then you're going to see right now we got here the email of the logged in user, ben11@gmail.com. But also we can click on the logout button. Now we need to add another check, guys. We are going to do this. Let me get into first. Let me do this. You're going to get into the console. And guys, you're going to see, I'm going to create another function that is going to check if the user is logged in. And here, let me first click on the logout button. Let me do this. I'm going to click on logout. And then they're going to redirect. You can see we need to hit the logout. Let's try to change the endpoint. Within the user, the logout user, here, within this action, let me get into within this action logout.ts. We need to pass here logout. We forgot to change the action logout. And here, guys, I'm going to log in again. I'm going to pass here ben11@gmail.com like this, and then the password, and then login. Yeah. Right now, we are going to click again on logout, and then they're going to log out this user. You can see you got a message logout, and then we just log out the user. And if you try to get access to the admin page, we can have the possibility to get access to any page of the admin area. But right here, if I try to get to see a list of members, let me show you, we are getting not authenticated. But how can we prevent such behavior? We don't want a user which is not logged in to get access to any page of the admin area. We are going to create another endpoint that is going to check if the user is logged in, and then they're going to log out the user immediately. That's what we're going to do. Now, guys, within the admin page that view, I'm going to create a function that is going to try to log out a user if it is not authenticated. And here I'm going to create a function, a sync function, a passive function, try logout user. And then here we are going to call this function when we are going to mount the component to the DOM. We are going to call it, we're going to say async, pass here async, and then we are going to await for that function. I'm going to pass here await. And then here we are going to call the logout. And you can see the logout function takes only a number. And then we are going to get into the composable use logout user. And here, guys, we are going to say that this function, the logout function, can take a number, but also it can take undefined. And here we are going to pass here, you can see we're passing here a number. And then right here, you're going to say it can take also undefined. It can be a number or undefined like this. And then within the admin page, the view, we are going to send undefined. Right here, we are passing right here the ID in order to log out a user. And here, we are going to pass here right now undefined. They are going to send undefined to the server. And as you know, the logout function, because we are using the makeHttpReq. You can see right now, we are using the makeHttpReq. We are going to send a token to the server. And if the user doesn't send a token to the server, they're going to send him a message, not authenticated. And here, guys, let me show you within the try here, let us get into the logout.ts, within the admin page, that view. And here, guys, you're going to see here, if we got this message, let me show you. We're gonna get in the logout.ts, and here we are going to say this. If we are going to pass here, we are going to get here a message. We are going to console. We are going to do console.log error. And here, guys, we are going to console this error to the console. Let us try to see. And here, if we refresh, we are going to get right here an error. You can see we got a message, not authenticated. But also the status. I'm gonna say this. If I'm gonna add a small check, if the error, I'm gonna try to pass here even this, if the error is equal to not authenticated, we're gonna pass here, we're gonna do this as error, and then that message is equal to not authenticated. We are going to redirect the user on the login. We're going to do this, we're going to copy this, and then we are going to do window.location.href. We're gonna pass here app/login. We are going to redirect the user on the login if we get this error, because every time we try to hit the logout endpoint, we have to pass a valid token. We have to send a valid token. And as within the local storage, we doesn't send the token, they're going to redirect us immediately on the login page. And right now you can see it on the login page. I'm gonna try again to get access to any page of the admin area. I'm gonna pass here members, and again you're going to see the redirect us on the login page, and we are getting a message not authenticated. We can't get access to any endpoints that is protected without sending a key. And I'm gonna try to log in ben@gmail.com, and then I'm passing the password, and I'm gonna click login, and then we are getting a message. I'm gonna pass here ben111@gmail.com 11, and then we are going to move to the admin. Yeah, we're on the admin page, and right now they doesn't kicked out of the admin area, and then we can get access to members. Now guys, let's try to do a little refactoring about our projects. And right here, if we get into the create member page, you're going to notice right here we just import the error components, base input, and the BaseBtn. This is duplication, guys. Every time you try to use these components, we need to import them. And we're going to go ahead and get into the app.ts file and import these components globally. That's what we are going to do. And here, guys, we are going to use a components function that is on the Vue instance provided by CreateApp. We're going to pass here the name of our components, but also the components right here. And here we're going to import first the error component. We're going to import error, and then it is right here. We're going to pass here the error component, and we're going to say error, but also we are going to import other components. Right here, we need to import also the button. We're going to pass here the BaseBtn, and then here we're going to pass here BaseBtn, but also we are going to import the base input. And then we're going to pass here to the base inputs, and also right here the base inputs. And we are done with refactoring. And then if we get into the CreateMemberPage, we can remove this component right here that we have imported, and everything is going to work pretty well because we just import them globally. They are available within our app. And then here I'm going to get into the member page right here. I'm going to get on the create member. You can see the validation, it is working, but also our base input is right there because we just import these components globally. And if we go within the login page, we are going to remove it. We are going to do that. We are going to remove this component, and we just reduce the complexity of the login page file. But also within the register, we need to remove them too, like this. And then we are fine. We need to move to another page, which is the create projects.